You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, welcome everybody. This is the Thursday night Beans and Dice call-in show. I'm your semi-host tonight. We got three hosts tonight. I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Wayne.
And we're here to talk about how we game.
Oh.
Thanks for joining us on the Thursday night call-in show. We're doing it a little different this week. We're not actually going to have a call-in show. I guess I keep calling it the call-in show, but we're going to change it up a little bit. Carlos is indisposed this week, so we're kind of doing it on the fly. We're each at home. Mike in Seattle, and then Wayne and I here in the Tampa area. Thanks for joining us all the way from Seattle tonight, Mike.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
And hopefully all our connections are going to hold up. We did a little bit of testing beforehand. I think we got it pretty smooth, but we had a few stutters, so we'll see what happens tonight. But tonight we're gonna change it up just a little bit here. I think Carlos is cool with us saying he has just a couple of days ago, him and his wife delivered their 5th child, and so they are recovering, I guess is the right word from that. So I'm still recovering from my stuff. There you go. There's the horn, air horn. So. Yeah, number 5, way more. I stopped at 3. I think that was plenty. Wayne, you're at 1. Mike, you had a couple.
1.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but congratulations, well wishes, prayers, and thoughts to the new addition to the family. Caleb, I believe it is the 4th boy in the family, in the Cabrera family. So
Caleb
congratulations
Cabrera.
to him. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
but tonight,
cool,
Wayne's gonna kind of host a little bit tonight because he has made a little quiz for us tonight, right, Wayne?
Yeah, let's see. So what we thought about, we have a couple of top 5 lists that we're going to talk through, I think, and then I had the idea, I don't know why, of creating kind of a quiz. So I did a 10-question multiple choice quiz with a bonus. Each question has a bonus question, right? So you could get 2 points per question, I guess. But I didn't think it was super hard, but I gave it to one of our crew to take, and they didn't do so well. So we'll see if it was that one individual.
This is multiple choice. We should be able to luck into 1 or 2 correct answers.
Well, I don't. Maybe it's the education mind in me, like making tests too hard to. Yeah. Anyway, we'll grade it on a curve, right? We know it's.
I think we're going to do that in the second half of the show, right? We didn't.
Yeah, whatever, you guys. We could do like one top 5, and then that, and then no top 5, whatever. You know. But
okay, so tonight we decided we wanted to do a kind of a top 5, top 10 kind of thing. So we played with it the last week. We talked a little bit in our Discord channel just about what we wanted to do. And I think what we settled on, we were going to do our new to me games in the last year. So games that you've played since January 1st, 2023 up until today. And these don't necessarily need to be new games. We're not talking about games that launched in 2023. We're talking about games that we played for the first time in 2023. And we're each giving a top 5 list. And I guess we can talk a little bit about how we did our list. I guess, Mike, is yours strictly the top 5 games you played this year, or did you take any liberties with it? Or
I kind of took the approach of, because we did the top 5 best and maybe top 5 not so best.
Yeah.
On the lower end, I kind of put them in there like if my expectations were high and it didn't really meet those expectations. Like I was disappointed, and I know expectations, we kind of set that ourselves, and we set ourselves up for disappointment by doing that. But
yeah,
that's how I set up the lower ones. The upper ones, for me, it was basically straight up like these are the ones that really hit home for me this year that I've never played before.
Right. So these may be games you played multiple times this year, but you played them for the first time since January. Okay, cool. And I'll just hit, we'll give it to Wayne here. But mine was pretty similar. My top 5 is probably the best 5 games that I played, new to me games this year. My bottom 5, I took a little bit of a different approach, maybe a little bit, but these aren't the worst games I played. I was talking to Wayne a little bit before the show. I mean, if I ranked the worst games I played, there'd be some games on there nobody's ever heard of, nobody cares about. So these are more games that I knew were kind of popular. They were getting a lot of buzz. They were getting a lot of press. But when I played them, kind of like you said, Mike, they were disappointments. They didn't hit for me. And so, again, definitely not the worst games I played. And I'm going to say none of these are bad games. They just didn't hit with me. And so I'll kind of discuss as we go through them why they didn't hit for me for various reasons. But how'd you do yours, Wayne?
So similar, I think. So for the top 5 games are ones where when I played it, I knew I need to own this game, or I'm glad I bought this game. That I'm gonna, it's a game that I'm definitely it's gonna be in my collection. It's a game that I'm gonna play a lot. And maybe surprised me. A couple of them surprised me, where I'm like, I didn't think it would be that good of a game, and it ended up being really, really good. For the other 5, the 5 kind of misses are it's a hit or miss. So a couple of them are ones that I really expected to really like, and I was like, well, it didn't quite hit as much as I thought. It wasn't as good a game as I thought it would be, but it's still a very good game. And there's a couple in there where it's just like, this is not the game for me. It didn't hit. Not looking to play it. So yeah, so that it's kind of a little bit all over the place. And I have like one like honorable mention where it was like I really wanted to put this on the hit list, but it's not quite there yet. Like, but I wanted to mention it because it's kind of like I guess I was wrong about this game in podcasts that we talked about like over the last year. But anyway, that's that. Yep. So,
and you mentioned Wayne actually
on one of mine too. So
an interesting thing there about owning games. I'm just curious of your top 5. Each of you, how many of the top 5 games on your list, or the top 5 of your list, do you actually own now?
4 of the 5.
4 of the 5, Mike. 3 of the 5 for me. I own 3 of the 5. 2 of them I don't own.
5 of the 6.
5 of the 6. Okay, there you go. Talk about taking liberties. So you're already there. 5 of the 6.
Pulling away. Yeah, got to get 1 and 2 and 1 in there, right? Yeah.
Does anybody own any of their bottom 5? I don't own any of my bottom 5.
I own 1 of my bottom 5.
Okay, all right. Maybe a little buyer's remorse. Maybe, yeah.
No, I just got it cheap.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I used to own all of them, but I am down to just 1.
Okay. So
Actually, I'm sorry. I used to own 4 of the 5. I'm down to 1 because I've sold some of the others off.
Okay. Cool.
Interesting.
All right. Well, we can jump right in, I guess. Who wants to lead off?
Well, you want to start right into that?
Or you got something else? Yeah. What do you want?
No, I want to mention. I know I've been talking about a Discord channel. We talked a little earlier. Dice Tower East tickets are on for sale.
Oh,
you know, the Beans and Dice crew hits up the Dice Tower East hard. There's 20, 30 of us there. Mike has bought ticket. I've bought ticket.
Surprise!
Rob has not bought ticket yet.
I have not bought yet. I'm always late. I told Wayne I watch the page every week or two. I'll go in and just kind of refresh and see how many tickets are still available. Because when you go on to buy, you can see how many are left. So for various reasons, I tend to kind of watch, and then when it starts dwindling down, maybe a Christmas present or something later in the year, I'll jump on there and get my tickets. But I'll be there.
It's a lurker.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Based up, I think. I remember I bought my tickets last year, like right away, right as soon as it came open, and they had sold like 300-400 that first day. They sold about 600 so far today. Yeah. So they sold a little bit more. It slowed down considerably, I think, after the first hour or two, which is interesting. I thought it might have gone even faster. I really thought they'd sell over, get into the below 1,000 tickets available after tonight, after the first day. But what I thought was interesting, and Rob, I kind of mentioned this earlier, is like. This year, I bought a ticket for my wife and I bought a ticket for my son because they want to come and play a game and then go to the pool and back and forth. Oh. And I remember last year, like for months leading up to the convention, people on the Discord servers and people on Facebook were constantly looking for kids badges. So I really thought the kids badges were going to sell really quick, and they only have 100 of them, and they only sold 17 today. So so there are 83 available on the kids badges. So that sort of surprised me because I thought with the amount of people last year that were begging and pleading and looking for kids badges, I really thought that they would have sold more on the first day. But maybe like you said, I think maybe it's a little earlier, maybe Christmas time. Everyone will be buying tickets for Christmas, and it'll go faster as it gets going.
Yeah. But, and with the kids thing, I know it's changed because I guess last year or last couple of years, they haven't actually had a kids room, if I recall. Before that, they actually had a dedicated place where they had much kid-friendly games. They had lighter games, family games. From what I heard, it turned into a little bit of people kind of leaving their kids there like a daycare. And so, Tom and the Dice Tower decided we're not doing that anymore. So they did change it up a little bit. So, yeah.
So on today's board game smorgasbord, he did drop a little hint in there. He said that they're moving to a larger ballroom this year. So I know there's multiple. That's a big convention center. There are multiple ballrooms, so they're going to be in a bigger one, which would be nice. Same amount of people in a bigger space, which I thought was cool. And then if you saw the announcement that they're going to have some shows at this year's Dice Tower East, they're going to have both Brian Drake and what's his name, the other magician, Joey Evans. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that. And I've really actually wanted to see Grant Lyons' board game comedy hour or whatever thing. Like I really want to see what comedy he can come up with for board gaming. So
you watched the awards though, right?
The Dice Tower East Awards. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when he did like a 5 or 10 minute stand up bit.
Yeah, it was good. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole show though, because I've heard like he's been at Gen Con and he's at BGG Con and stuff like that. So he's doing his whole stand up too. So that'd be fun. So cool. I'm looking forward to that. I like board gaming, but I also like sometimes like sort of the ancillary shows and things like that. So I'm glad they're bringing that back.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more to the pre-COVID Dice Tower because it used to be different, and a lot of people have commented both for and against, the changes that they made. But pre-COVID, it was a lot about shows, and I know the Dice Tower crew decided they didn't want to spend as much time doing that. They used to have a big deal with the top 10 list that they did every year. They would host several game shows. They've done like 1 or 2 game shows the last couple of years, but it just hasn't been on the scale that it was before. Brothers Murph did a big show one year. They've had Chaz Marler used to stream live from the floor every year. So it's changed. Post COVID, it became a smaller event. It was more about the gaming than trying to schedule to go to all the different shows and the panels and stuff that they used to have before. So I like the fact that they're adding some of that back. I don't think it'll ever go back full blown the way it was before. I say that it was hectic for the people there, for the hosts of the Dice Tower crew. So I'm glad they're able to kind of hang out, relax a little more, play games, meet people, talk to people. It makes it a little more personable. So I enjoy that.
Yeah. I think it's a good mix of one or two. The magic show, the comedy show. They have the not ready set bet tournament. They also have the
the Vegas one, like where you're betting on everything.
And the like the trivia one where you're betting on
trivia.
Yeah.
Blanks right now. That's funny. We all know what it is.
There you go. Where they do big teams anyway, but that's fun. So yeah, it's cool. I'm looking forward to it. And I think the first Beans and Dice convert amongst everybody is Sam is coming to Dragon Con.
Oh, nice.
She's gonna come up. I know. I
had not heard that. I wonder if he's ever been. Oh yeah, Wits and Wagers. There you go. That's the one. Yeah, Wits and Wagers.
There we go. Got it. Yep.
They got about 15 million different versions of that, but yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what Sam thinks of a non full-time gaming convention, just a full-on nerd 70,000 people cosplay craziness that can be Dragon Con, because it'd be interesting. So yeah. All right. So I just want to talk about that because Dice Tower is coming out. I want to get that on the podcast. I know people listen to this after the fact and stuff. And
I haven't kept up with the news as much, so I don't know what all's going on. I've seen what y'all have posted in the Discord, but between my crazy work and just trying to relax and stuff with the eye issue going on here, so I've been a little out of the loop the last couple of weeks. But
the only other sort of big thing that came out recently was Jeff Engelstein and what's her name from Wingspan,
Hargrave. Yep,
Elizabeth Hargrave. They're starting kind of like a quasi designers union thing.
I saw that. I saw you post that on Discord. Yep.
Yeah, it's like an I guess there's a similar organization in Europe, specifically in Germany, for like board game designers. And it's interesting. If you go to Mike, you'll see it at a if you join this group, basically like a whatever designers group, I forget what it's called exactly, but like if you have contract negotiations, mediation with design things, they'll review contracts. So I think what they're trying to help out is designers that are getting into the industry. You don't know what's a good deal or not the first time you sign a board game with a company, so they'll review contracts and they'll help with mediation and coordinate those kind of things, and doing like mentorships. And so it's kind of cool. It's first step towards really kind of more making game design a formality thing, which is kind of good. So
I was trying to scroll through the Discord to find the name of it, but I don't it's not jumping out at me here. But it was really cool.
So that's really the only other kind of big news, and it's necessary, I think, too, because I mean, like you listen to podcasts and you hear about like game designers and like how long do you give your rights to a company for? If they don't produce the game, do you get it back? And those kind of things are like, how do you find out that information? Well, you join this group, and then it goes from there. So
Tabletop Gamers Game Designers Association. Tabletop Game Designers Association. There it is. Yep. Cool. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, we post that stuff up on our Discord channel all the time. Discord channel's open for anybody to post news. We got a news tab, and so people are always putting cool stuff in there. We got things like, I know people today have been posting game hauls, so that's one of those things that kind of comes and goes. But when people remember, they get new games. Yeah, Mike was posting some stuff in there. Well, what's new on your shelf there, Mike?
I might be talking about it tonight.
Oh, okay. So I don't want to spoil anything. It might be on one of the lists.
Which list is it on?
Okay. I'm hoping on the good list, but he did say he owned 4 of the 5 on the bad list at one point. So
that's true. Yeah, he's the one that he just got. I'm actually I've got a couple of Kickstarters getting ready to deliver, which is great. I'm really looking forward. So the Creature Comforts in Maple Valley.
Nice.
But it's stuck in the Suez Canal. Apparently,
is it really?
Oh no.
We just got an update today from the company that said basically it's a week delayed getting through the Suez because the water levels are too low, so they're only letting like one big freighter through at a time. So it's like, oh Jesus, good Lord,
more shipping issues. Just what we need.
Look, we got Sam here saying, my boys like Ponzi scheme. I saw that game. It's like, yeah.
I haven't ever played it. Oh shit! No spoiler thing. No spoiler.
Okay. Moving on.
I've never played it, but I've heard of it a lot. We might hear about it more tonight. So
yeah. Oh, Sam's looking for Maple Valley. Yeah, I got. I'm looking for. That was I was starting to do all my Kickstarters through your turn, and that was the first one I went through, Dan.
Oh wow. Yeah.
First and last, basically. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Creature Comfort and Maple Valley. So I'm looking forward to that because I think those are good games that I can get my kid to play because it's got the cuteness factor. Got some limited play time, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. I'm just catching up on the comments. I didn't have the comment trail turned on, so I'm trying to read through this. I appreciate people are commenting. Lots of people there.
Yeah, we need lots of talk and hey, get a pen and paper ready for when we do the quiz because I want to see how many I can stump on that. So
people play at home. Yeah, for sure. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, me and Mike are gonna. I made up a little makeshift whiteboard here, but I think Mike's gonna work on the honor system. But it's they're multiple choice. So
I got.
You got something? Oh, there you go. Little flashcards. A, B, C, D. Nice. All right. So we'll do a quiz. But yeah, if you get ready at home, we're gonna do that. Like I say, I think a little later in the show. We may not go 2 hours tonight. We figured we just go however long. Again, we're not doing the call in tonight. We don't have access to the easy access to the call in rig that Carlos has at his place. So maybe next week we'll be back to the call in from Carlos's. If not, maybe we'll try to set it up at one of our places and we'll see. But for now, this is what we're doing tonight. So we're going to go at least an hour. But if you want to hang on for that quiz show, I think that'll be fun later in the show.
Yeah. And who knows, these top fives can go for a while. We might have some debate here. So
we might fill an hour or two with top five, bottom five. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway. That's the question is, what do we start with, right? Do we start with the top 5 games that hit for us this year or the bottom? Do we want to start on the positive or start with
I was wondering, do we bounce back and forth? That might be too hard to keep track of if we're bouncing back and forth.
I think we could put it out to the chat and say, y'all in the chat, which list do you want us to start with? The top 5 games that hit with us this year, or the top 5 games first that we played this year that didn't quite hit for us?
Yeah, so these are again new to us games. If you're joining us just a little bit late, so these are games that we played for the first time in 2023. So not our best.
We released in 2023, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not our favorite of all time. Not games that came out this year. This is games we played for the first time in 2023. Our top 5 games that wowed us the most, and then we've got a list of the 5, not the 5 worst games. So no middle 5. There you go. Not the 5 worst games of all time that we played, but these are going to be 5 games that were popular or that we were really looking forward to that we didn't hit with us for some different reasons. So hey, there we go. Congratulations.
I'm going to throw a couple of stats out there really quick.
There you go. Hit them.
So this is regarding the games for this year new to me. I had 60 games total that were new to me.
Wow.
I own 19 of them. 84 plays total. These are just the new ones this year. I played with 29 different people. 53% of them were 4-player games, and the next one down was 16% were 2-player games. Approximately 131 hours total. And my oldest game that was new to me this year was from 1979.
Oh,
Dune.
Dune.
You played the original Dune. Okay.
Yeah. And a friend of mine, this was like when they weren't making it anymore. He actually sent all the files out to be professionally printed. Nice. Like had the box and a fold up board and the whole 9 yards.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
That's a pretty heavy long game, or can be.
Oh yeah, and it almost made my list this year for the top 5
really?
That I liked. Yeah, I really enjoy it. But anyway, those are quick stats while we're waiting for people to.
I didn't bother with those kind of stats.
Mike's showing us up here. He's he prepared some stats and didn't tell
us.
It's
all in the board game tracking app. It's easy to spit it out.
Yeah. Mine's in Excel. So. Yeah. We have a second vote for bottom of the top. So Chester.
Yeah, it looks like bottom.
Bottom is start. Yeah.
Okay.
So
we'll go bottom first. All right.
Yep.
So we'll start at number 5 and go down to number 1 as far as the bottom list goes.
Yeah, and let me preempt by saying also, to be honest, my bottom 5, I did not really rank them. So these were, again, just 5 games that I knew were popular that didn't hit with me. I didn't put them in any order, so
yeah.
They are? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yours is your biggest disappointment? I can do it on the fly. I'll go last, then I'll try to reorganize it in my head here. But so the biggest disappointment is your number 1, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. But one of y'all go first. I'll number mine real quick.
I've got my first one pulled up, so
go ahead.
Let's talk crossovers real quick before we start. I mean, this is yeah. How many crossovers do you think we have? Either bottom 5 or top 5? I'm going to say bottom 5, probably none.
I think maybe one. Maybe one.
I think one on the bottom 5.
Okay. You think somebody else will have on your list?
On the top, I think Rob, you and I are going to cross over at least twice.
Twice. I was gonna say I think once, but maybe
once,
twice.
Yeah.
All right,
I
we'll
know
see.
one. I know. I think I know one for sure. So I'm gonna throw a second one in there. So we'll see.
I don't have any crossovers in my top 5 with you guys.
Okay.
All right. So my number 5 disappointment, and it's not really a disappointment, is Distilled.
Okay.
How dare
and so
you?
I'll say, how dare I? Right? No,
sure.
no, I have to. Yeah, I dare. What we said though is like this isn't like. It's a bad game. This is a very good game. I enjoy this game. I own this game. This is the one game in my top 5, in my bottom 5 that I own. But I got it on sale at the return, clearance sale when they were selling them. I'm big into whiskey. I used to brew beer, before child. So I enjoy spirits. I enjoy those kind of things. And so when this game was on Kickstarter, I was so close to backing it. And I expected this game to be amazing, right? I really wanted this game to be amazing. And I will say that they really do a fantastic job of encapsulating the distillation process and how it all works very well into the game. So I give really good kudos for that. But the few times I've played this game, I've enjoyed it. But I think this is also an aspect of my expectations were here and the game came in here, right? So, and not even that. It's like the game came in here and the expectations. So I had through the roof expectations, and when I played it, I was kind of like, that just didn't hit as well as I thought. I think that there are some gameplay sort of issues with the game that I think some expansions or some, it could be, different rules could fix. I think but it's a great game. The production value is through, but I think this is also a game that is a quintessential of the Kickstarter production value overselling the game. You have this game that has super high production value, so it's going to cost $120 to get it all, and then it doesn't play like a $120 game, right? It plays like a $60 game or $70 game, right? It's great. It's a very good game, but it doesn't play like it's worth $120. So my number 5 is Distilled, and it's not because it's a bad game. It's a very good game. I own it. I will definitely play it again. But it didn't wow me like it should have.
Yeah, good choice.
How many times did you play it?
I played 2.5, so I like 3 times, basically 3 times. Like the one time was kind of a teach, and kind of like, and then 2 more times after that. So,
gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I played 3 times. I think my first play though was definitely a year ago, so it wouldn't have even been eligible for my list. But that is a good choice. I agree that the production was good. I had high expectations. I was hearing lots of good things about it, and then I played it. And I was like, it was okay. It wasn't bad, but it just kind of wasn't what I was expecting. Yeah.
All right, so Mike, what are you at?
So my number 5 for this year is Thunder Road Vendetta.
Oh, okay.
This is the
my top
5. This is the one that I don't own. Almost backed it on Kickstarter, and when I finally got around to playing it, I will say the first time I played it, I don't think there was enough people. I think it was either a 2 or 3 player game, and I went into it fully expecting, like, with the mindset, this is just going to be chaos. Like it's just here for a good time, and that's what I was expecting. Like a total Mad Max, anything can happen. This can blow up in your face and not blow up in somebody else's face. And the second time I played it, because I was looking forward to the second time, I was just thinking, okay, I got a good group. I know this group of guys that I'm going to be playing with. This is going to be good. And it just seemed to outstay its welcome. And it just, I don't know. It just did not do it for me. I guess because of the theme, I'm expecting something to play a little bit faster. Maybe that's what it was. and it just seemed to drag for me. I don't know if maybe I need to give it a third play for like a really fair run, but I mean, if somebody said, "Oh, you want to play this," and it was with a group of people that I knew, I'd probably play it again. But I'm definitely not looking forward to trying this game again.
So now this almost made my top 5. It's like surprises. I only played it once, right? And so
Okay.
so it didn't hit my list because I feel like, oh, maybe it was just that one really cool experience. But like when this came on Kickstarter, I'm like, well, this is like, it was to buy like the full in pledge. It was again this giant, I don't know, it was like $100, whatever. Let's say I don't know exactly what it was, but like I'm like, okay, this is just supposed to be just fast, like dice chucking chaos machine, 30-minute, 40-minute game. And it's cost X, really? Whatever. That's crazy, right? So I didn't do it. And so then at Dice Tower East, Sam, Ron, myself, and a fourth guy who it was his game, we sat down, and I just sat down with the mindset of, I'm going to channel my inner Dan, and I'm going to be an agent
Chaos.
Absolutely.
Chaos. And I was running into people, and I was purposely targeting, and I'm like, he's like, if you do that move, you're probably going to kill yourself. But I'm probably going to take out 2 or 3 of you with me. And I was just like,
that's right. Yeah.
It was a blast, man. It was maybe 45 minutes, and we killed everything. It was like, okay, that was really fun. And I think that's Sam here. Yeah. See, I can see that. She could see me channeling my inner Dan. So I think this is a very much a game dependent, game. Group dependent game. So I think maybe you do need to give it another shot, but like wait to Dice Tower East and get like me and Rob. And
that's exactly what I was going to say.
And just get because if you know everybody, it's just going to be brutal. And let's just
if I make it to Dice Tower East, I'll definitely play it with you guys. I think that it may bump up on my list.
I haven't played it yet. I got to play this. I keep hearing such good things.
I really thought this would be a disappointment. Like I didn't look at it at Kickstarter, and then I played it, and I was like, oh, that's why it almost made my top 5 list, because it was a game that I didn't think would be good, or I didn't think I'd have fun with, and I did have a blast playing it that one time. Yeah, it was really good. So.
Okay, all right, cool. So that's my number 5.
Got to play it. I keep hearing good things about it, and but I know what it's all about, so I know what to expect going in. So just crazy chaos. Yeah,
crazy chaos. Cool. All right, that's a good pick though, because I can see where that would be. It just could be disappointing if you don't have it, because you want it to be Mad Max, you want it to be chaos, and it may not be. Yeah. All right, Rob, what you got for number 5?
Okay, so I'm going to disappoint some people probably from my number 5. So again, remember this is number 5. So this isn't the most disappointing game, but this is a game that I was really looking forward to, and it's the Louisiana folks, I think, that really pumped me up for this one. And when I played it, I've played it just once now. No, I played it twice. This is Starship Captains. I know Wayne's pulling them up for us, so I need to say it sooner and not keep the suspense so he can start pulling up the pictures. But Starship Captains. This is it's a worker placement game where you've got different colored little meeples, or they're actually little plastic ponds. They look like the little pieces from Sorry is what they remind me of. Here it comes. So
great game. 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. Great game. Loved it. 2 out of 10. I don't know. The pick up and deliver for some reason. Let's see. Oh, there we go. No, actually, my team, Tampa is my adopted team, but a lot of people hate that. There we go. I don't want to dump my drink out, but the Dallas Cowboys, that's my number 1 team. But anyway, worker placement. You've got these again. They remind me of the little Sorry pieces, the little plastic round-headed. They're also like the little gear shifters and heat. But anyway, so you've got them different color ones. Different colored workers are able to do different types of tasks. And the main board of Starship Captains is a pick up and deliver. So you're kind of picking up, you're moving your starship around, you're delivering stuff, you are upgrading your ship. There's technologies. These are technology cards here that you're slotting into your thing. You've got a cargo hold that can only hold so much stuff. You can take damage to your cargo hold by getting attacked by pirates and other things. So you have to clear damage to be able to clear those holes to bring more stuff on. There's a whole resetting of the board situation, which is cool and kind of unique as you're placing people around, and as people as you go visit all the places, things will clear and the new cards will come out. And so you use your different colored workers to trigger these benefits on the cards for the pick up and deliver part. But and the one of the really cool things here is this board. You kind of keep seeing this kind of circular board. This is your starship, and you're slotting as you get new people or new crew on your ship. You're slotting them in on the right side, and then you kind of slide them around. And then I forget, there's a dependent number of how many you can slide into your active pool at the beginning of each round. I forget what dictates that exactly. But so that's kind of one of the cool little mechanics of the game is you're slotting these people in, you're sliding them around the board, but then you get into this situation. I found both times I've played it, you get into this situation where you never have, and I never seem, and maybe I'm just a bad planner, I never seem to have the right colored workers I need to do the thing that I need to do in the next round. So I'm having fun kind of putting them all on the board and sliding them around and this little dual layer board. And then I slide in and I'm like, oh crap, that like in this example, that last blue, and I needed 2 blues this time, but I didn't plan it out right, so that last blue wouldn't kick down into my active pool. So maybe it's just because I'm bad at the game. I've played it twice.
You also like games like this, Rob, though, you have to get into the theme and go, damn it, Jim, a doctor, not an engineer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you could do that. So and then you've got these little rings you can put on them that it's a promotion, so you can promote your different workers and they can do extra things. And then there's a little golden robot on there that you can get these robots that are one-time use. They leave your pool, if I remember, after you're done. Operator malfunction, 2 out of 10. That's it. It's a great game. Operator malfunction, 2 out of 10. So
I really wanted to play this game. I have not played this game yet, and I really want to play it because my wife and I are huge Trek fans, and this game is Star Trek, right?
I think, and I think I was expecting, and maybe it was unfair, and I don't know why I got that expectation, but I think I was expecting there to be a twist on the pick up and deliver, or that there was going to be something more to the pick up and deliver and something special, but it really, 90% of the game is just moving around that main board, trying to avoid the pirates. We're trying to go and take out pirates, but and just picking stuff up and delivering it. And I don't know. Zaya, much bigger, much grander, much longer game. That's where I'm at pick up and deliver. Lots of options, lots of things going on. This one is more family weight. I think it's family weight. I think I'd say it's family weight. So it's more for probably for, I'm going to say lighter gamers. I don't want to say it's too light, but oh yeah, there you go. Was hoping to be more like Star Trek, but I never saw Tatooine or any Ewoks.
Ewoks,
so, there you go. No, and I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and I'm actually a Star Trek fan over Star Wars. So I was really hoping this would be the game.
There's a ton of tangential story, but there's a ton of I don't know if they're good, but there's a ton of new Star Trek games coming out next year. So I'm really looking forward to it. But some of them have crazy price tags, so I don't know.
Oh yeah,
so that's a good pick though. It's a game I want to play. So it's interesting to hear like mixed reactions on it. So I might have to.
Like I say, it's my number 5, BJ. There's 4 more coming that are bigger disappointments than this one. So just hold on. Yeah.
So now we've all done 5. So I'm back to me, right?
Yep.
So,
yep.
All right. You guys can see me typing it here. So here's one that might make some people mad because I know it's a popular game, but I don't get it. I didn't like it.
There you go.
But Earth. This was all the rage like the end of last year, and even this year, people like it's Terraforming Mars, it's Arc Nova, it's all this other stuff, and
nope.
I've played it now half dozen or more times on BGA. I played it 2 times in person, and I'm just like,
just wasn't for you.
Yeah, just it's fiddly as all get out with like the cards and stacking the mushrooms and doing this and that. And
right, well, hold on a second. All right, so I need to get our terminology straight because I was just thinking this for my next game. When you say fiddly, I used to mean like the pieces are dropping all over the plate, like it's fiddly to physically manipulate.
You're building these, that's it. Yeah,
some people think fiddly means the rules are fiddly. Like there's all these little fiddly rules.
I would preface that by saying the rules are fiddly. I just think the game is fiddly. Like this needs recessed player boards, but you can't do that because your cards and you're stacking things on cards, and one good hit of the table and all your little mushroom things fall over. And I think it's maybe I have come to realize that maybe some of the engine building type games are not the type of game that I'm the best at, right? Or they don't hit with me, right? A lot of the so placing the cards and figuring out what order to place the cards, and then you fire it all left or you fire it all left and right, and what card it just seemed overly complicated, right? To track all that stuff on and I also don't necessarily like the fact that it's very solitary, right? So you have your little tableau and you have everyone has their little tableau, and we're kind of all firing things separately. So it's hard to track what other people are doing because it's just all over the place, So it's like, I don't know. I get that it's a good game. I get that everyone loves it, and it is, and I enjoy playing it.
Not
I played
everybody.
it. Not everybody, yeah. Not saying again. There's another one just like Distilled, where it was like super hyped, and I played it, and I go, I'm not quite getting the hype of this game. It's a fun game. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I played it twice in person. I played it 6 or 10 times, something like that in that range on BGA, and I enjoy it much more on BGA because it does all that for you, tracking how you fire it and stuff. But I'm good. I definitely don't need to own it, and I'll play it on BGA, but I don't really need to play it in person. I think Sam here is almost agreeing with me. She's like,
Yeah,
played Earth once, and I'm good. So
apparently, Jim Odak has an issue with the penis-shaped pieces.
after 10 o'clock yet?
Yeah, close enough, yeah. Rob, I think you've played this, right? Mike, you haven't played it though, right?
I'll make my comment after Rob talks there.
Rob,
okay. I was going to say I'm going to hold some of my comments for various reasons, but
there you go. Okay, never mind. Later on.
I agree. I'll say, I'll be honest. I kickstarted this, sleeved it. It's all set up, and it has constantly made the trip from my sale shelf to my keep shelf multiple times, and I still have not played the game. And I don't know if it's like, is it ever going to hit the table? It's one of those games where I was looking forward to it a lot, but I just never played it. And I think if I could just get it played once or twice, I'll know if it's something that I want to keep. Like if it'll be a hit with the groups that I play with.
I'd say you should play it. I definitely again, my comments will come in a minute, but yeah, you should definitely play it. Some people really like it. Some people don't. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right, Mike, what's your number 4?
All right. So my number 4 actually came out this year. This is one that I still own. That is on my sale shelf. And this one, I'll just tell you, it's Oros. You can pull it up, Oros. I think the thing that got me so hyped on this game was Jeremy Howard from Man vs. Meeple.
Yeah.
Was
I
like
his opinion on games.
Usually him and I are like eye to eye on things. And he was just head over heels about this game. And I started looking it up, and it's looks wise, it's got the colors that, attract people to a table. It's got nice chunky wooden pieces. You're stacking things on top of each other, like you're creating, they're like volcano created mountains, and things are shifting around. And I'm thinking, this is a really cool idea. And I'll admit, I only played it once, and maybe I need to play it again, but I'm just not looking forward to it. But this is one that is physically fiddly for me, where you're constantly shuffling tiles around, and you're putting wooden pieces on top, and then you've got these other little volcano pieces, and sometimes when you shift the puzzle pieces around, they're falling over, and it just was not enjoyable to me. And I think it was the fiddliness of the game itself that really detracted from what I think it could possibly be, as far as being a good game. And like I said, Jeremy Howard and I usually see eye to eye, but on this one, I don't think we could have been further from what I liked, or
Yeah,
but
it looks like there's a lot going on there.
There is a lot going on, and again, look at that picture. Like the colors are like, ooh, that kind of pops off the table. What is that?
Inviting.
Yeah, it's very inviting. And even when I set it up, I was like, oh man, this game's going to be so good. And then we played it, and I was like, this game is really bad. So
it's had a lot of buzz for a short period of time. I heard about it a bunch for about a month, and then I haven't heard anything about it since. It just disappeared.
There's probably a reason for that.
Yeah,
but
I never played.
It just didn't work for me, and I was super hyped for this game when I backed it. So. And if anybody wants to buy it, I've got the collector's edition
ready to go. On discount, maybe not.
$2.
So that's my number 4, Oros.
Okay, all right. I won't hold up too much suspense
here we go. So here, a drinking game has been created about this list at Sam's gonna die at some point tonight.
Oh,
She may die.
we got to throw in a lot more fiddly then.
She's a nurse. She might be able to pump her own stomach eventually.
There you go. So my number 4 is going to unfortunately probably upset at least one, or I know it's going to upset at least one more of the Louisiana folks. This one's going to be right down Mitchell's alley. This is what I actually just recently played, and it's Twilight Inscription. This is a game that I had hoped to like so much more. I kept hearing comparisons to Hadrian's Wall. I kept hearing, if you love Twilight Imperium, or if you like Twilight Imperium, which I like Twilight Imperium, it's just too long for me. It's just I like the big epic experience of it, but 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. I've got probably close to 10 plays of Twilight Imperium in. I was hoping. New Iberia just imploded. Did you hear it? Did you hear it explode? But
I heard the screams of 10,000 Mitchells go. No!
The screams. So Mitchell really likes this game, and so he taught it to me at Sobo just about a month ago, and I didn't love it. It obviously it was not going to be TI or TI4 or TI3.
Right, and it doesn't claim to be.
Yeah, it doesn't claim to be. It's a different game. I for whatever reason, I went in with the expectation that it was going to be more similar than what it was, and it really isn't. It's a roll and write. I mean, it's in space. You're rolling dice. You're crossing off stuff. You're triggering combos like you do with roll and writes. I don't know. I mean, I like space theme, so it wasn't the theme that turned me off. It just, I didn't play super well the one time I played it. I didn't trigger all the combos that the other people at the table were triggering. And so maybe that was it. I think I tried to do a little bit of too many different things, but you can see, I mean, you've got it's actually 4 little boards that you put together to kind of make one big board, and you're doing things sometimes on one board, and then you have to choose to go to one of the other 3 boards to trigger something else. And it's just, it's a lot going on. It's basically
TI4 if you air fried all the fun
out of it. I would agree with that. I wouldn't disagree, BJ. I don't know if that's your feeling on it, but it's I would agree. I mean,
I'm looking at this picture right here, and that board gives me a headache.
Yeah, it's a lot to look at.
It's a lot, but the irony in this with Mitchell loving this game is, and Mitchell, if you're listening, and I hope you are. Like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I remember him touting up and down, yelling up and down the street, getting on a soapbox. There is no such thing as a good roll and write game. And here he is, like loving this one out of all of them.
Yeah.
And no.
Yeah. We just talked, was it last week or whatever, about Hadrian's Wall, or was it maybe a couple of weeks ago? It was last week, because I was talking about some of the games I'd played at Sobo. That's right. And we talked about comparing it to Hadrian's Wall. You asked me about that, Mike, and I'd play Hadrian's Wall every day over this. I mean, I would probably play this again if somebody really wanted to, but it just really didn't do anything for me. So I don't know. TI, I would rather, I've been outspoken, and I kind of ham it up that I only play TI4 maybe once a year, just because it is such a big experience, and I would rather play 8 1-hour games than 1 8-hour game. But I don't know. This you'd have to twist my arm to get me to play this. And this one's not short. I mean, it took us a couple hours, maybe a good 2 hours, and that's at Mitchell speed, banging through this one.
I was going to say Mitchell would rather play 32 15-minute games instead of game.
Do the math. Does it add up? Yeah. So Twilight Inscription. That's my number 4.
All right.
Now I think I'm done insulting the Louisiana crowd. I think.
For now.
For now.
All right. So now we're on number 3. All right.
Yep.
So I know that Jim Odek's not going to like my number 3.
Uh-oh.
Why?
So Hansa Teutonica is my number 3. And again, so actually my 3 of my 5, and so the first 3 of my 5 are games that I enjoyed, and I liked them, but they didn't hit like I thought they would. And so speaking back to Carlos, who always calls me as the guy who plays the the ugly box games from old white dudes on
the white guy on the dude on the cover.
I think a board like this would be right up my alley, and it was a good game. I enjoyed it. I played it the one time. Rob, you, me, and Jim played this.
Jim, yep,
and and I liked it. Don't get me wrong, but like this is amongst the older games, because Hansa Teutonica has been around for a while. and I think this is the oldest of my disappointment games. I expected to like it more than I did because I love games like this, right? This is like my wheelhouse. Castles of Burgundy and Orleans and whatever, Concordia and those kind of things. So I think what it was is it didn't do enough different than some of the other games from that era that I already know. So it didn't sort of wow me as much as I was hoping it would. It was an enjoyable game. I liked it. I don't know if I would own it. Like it's not in the Stone Age and the castles and I can't think, other games in that ilk that I own them all. But and so Jim's saying it does take 2 or 3 games to get it, and so maybe that's what it is. I do need to play it a few more times, and I would gladly play it again. That's the thing too, is I think that even this on the list of didn't hit for me, I'd play it again, right? I definitely would try it a few more times, but it didn't hit in the realm of I want to own this game. So that's interesting. Sam, yeah, it's the brownest Euro ever.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, Wayne. Close. This one made my top 10. This was one of the ones that I almost wrote down when I was just kind of scribbling out my list first. I only played it the one time that you and I and Jim played it, and I decided not to. It's a Euro. It's hard for me to put Euros on that list, but it came across to me as a very plain-ish Euro. So I don't know. We probably missed something. We need to play it again.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think, like you said, it maybe I'm missing what makes it special. Right, I think that's what it is. Like the first time I played Castles, I got why. Like, oh, that's why I love this. First time I played Orleans, I get why. And my brain is, what's the one where you're moving your workers around and leaving them in the grid of? Oh my God, my brain.
Oh, where it's the cards that you lay out and you. Yes.
God, my brain.
Yeah, Jaipur stuck in my head. It's not Jaipur.
No, it's not Jaipur. But anyway, so it doesn't matter. But usually when you play these kind of older Euros or the Felves or the whatever, you go, okay, this is what makes this game different. This is what makes this game special. I didn't see that with this one yet. And so again, need to play it a few more times. But this one hit my list of, because it was one of the older games that I hadn't ever played that I was like, oh, I really want to play this one, so let's play it. And I'm like, it didn't quite hit it. And no, not 5 Tribes, Sam. The 5 Tribes is really.
It's one where you're getting the gems. The gems are your points. You're trying to do everything to cash them in for the gems.
Yep. And my brain.
It's mega popular. I forget what it is. Yep.
Stone Age is another one that's like that. You get why they like them. But anyway, Hansa Teutonica, I liked it. It was fun, but it didn't wow me, or I didn't figure out why it should wow me. But that's why it's my number 3. Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Mike.
So there you
go. My number 3 is from 2016. I backed this on Kickstarter and had it forever. And obviously, if it came out 2016 and I got it through Kickstarter and I just played it for the first time this year, Awkward Guests.
Okay. I haven't played this.
So this is a like a deduction game, and yes, that one. Awkward Guess, the Walton case, yeah. This one, Tom Vassell raved about left and right. I love deduction games. Like I love the Search for Planet X, and I'm trying to remember the other one that I really like that isn't that old. But anyway. I thought this had like a really cool concept as far as like you had cards in your hand that had a value to each one of them, and you kind of go around the table and you're, I need at least, this many points, or, I'd like, this much. And then people kind of like bid for you swapping cards with them so that information is being swapped around. And it's one of those, well, if this person was in this room at this time, well, then it couldn't be this person or this person or this person, like those types of deduction. I love that. And this one, man, did it overstay its welcome. It was just, it got down to like the last 30 minutes of the game. And I was just like, this has got to end. Like somebody please figure out who the murderer is and, what weapon they used. And it just was a bomb for me, and I'm surprised it isn't lower on my list, but you may understand why when I get to the other two. But so this one I don't own anymore. I don't. Maybe if here's my stipulation: if Tom Vassell wanted to play this game, I would join in on the game, because if I'm missing something, he would be able to show me what I'm missing in the game.
Because he has talked. I remember he's talked about this game a ton. Like he always talking about this game. But it seems like it's Clue or it's Kill Dr.
Clue
Lucky.
on steroids, basically.
Yeah. So do you really need that though? You can do Kill Dr. Lucky.
Yes.
You can do Clue. You can do.
I like games, you know, but I don't like. Clue is very straightforward deduction, whereas like Search for Planet X, there are other things going on, and even if you do figure out where Planet X is, you still may not win the game because of like all the theses that you're, submitting, and which ones were right and which ones were wrong, and at what time you did them. So, it just did not.
Where this is like Fury of Dracula or Scotland Yard, is this even more complicated than those?
Well, those are more hidden movement type games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, not murder deduction. Gotcha.
Yeah, and don't get me started on Fury of Dracula. I'll never play that game again.
Oh, you don't like it? Really? I like that game. It's a good one.
It's like a 4-hour disaster.
Oh, man, bad experience.
Oh, really? 2 hours max. Come on.
I played with Dan. Dan will tell you about it.
That good.
That was a bad time. But anyway, so my number 3 is Awkward Guests.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Rob,
what you got?
My number 3 was actually called out of the chat. Samantha, good call. Expeditions is my number 3. I mean, come on, Stonemaier games, Jimmy Stegmaier set in the Scythe universe. I mean, wonderful art, big chunky mechs, whether you play with the metal ones or the plastic ones. You got these oversized tiles taking up the board. Yeah.
This is how close I was to pre-ordering it.
Yeah.
This is how close I was to putting it on the list.
Oh, really? Yeah. This was on the edge of yours too.
This is on my short list. Yeah.
I've played it 3 times now, and I'll say I had one play that I did really well and I won, and I had 2 plays that I did really poorly and lost badly. So I don't know that tainted my taste of it, because even the game that I really won, I felt like I just kind of got lucky. I felt like the right cards came up and I was in the right place, or I was able to move the right number of spots to get to where I needed to be. I don't know. And then the one bad game I had, it's just like I couldn't do anything. It felt like everything I tried to do, either somebody blocked me. Not that there's much player interaction in this game. The only player interaction really is that somebody can be on the space that you want to go to. And a lot of times it's not malicious in this one. It's just there's a fairly limited number of spaces you can go to. Beautiful art. I won the game. Good synergy with cards. 2 out of 10. So yeah. Anyway,
that is the permanent Rob review.
Oh, that's gonna be a 2 out of 10. Everything's 2 out of 10. Everything is 2 out of 10. But yeah, I don't know. I just I love Stonemaier. I'm definitely a fanboy. I love just about everything they put out. I've been to their design days. I mean, I've met Jamie several times. It's but this one, I don't know. This one is too long for what it is, and Scythe is not for me. Scythe is a longish game, and I really enjoy Scythe. I've played Scythe a whole ton of times. Again, This is the same universe. This is built as a sequel. The mechanisms in this game have nothing to do almost with Scythe. Some of the iconography, the art is obviously the same, but 90% of this game is not Scythe. It's different. But I don't know. I've just like I say, 2 of the 3 games I played, it's just I couldn't do what I wanted to do. The first one was my very first play. It was like at 1 o'clock in the morning at Dice Tower. I decided to sit down. I was hoping we'd be in an hour game. I think it took maybe a little over 2 hours. By the second half of that game, I was just ready to quit. I was kind of just like, all right, just move me somewhere. Let's do a thing. Let's get this thing over with. So I'm going to take that one out of the equation. But the other 2 plays, I knew what I was getting into. I had one really good one. I just killed it. Everything worked. I was able to slot everything where I wanted to, ran up the points, and then I had one. It's just like nothing worked. Everything I tried to do is I couldn't be in the right place at the right time to get what I needed, and it just fell flat. And so, but I don't know. Yeah, just a disappointment. I hoped for so much more in this game. It's so pretty. The mechs are awesome, but it just wasn't fun.
So is it like too much solitaire type play? And I'll be honest, I really don't know exactly how the game plays. I know you're flipping some tiles over as you're discovering areas, but
yeah, you explore the top 2/3 of the map as you go there. Yeah. So Sam says he wasn't blown away by any game at Dice Tower this year, but yeah. So yeah, you're you're exploring. It's really about trying to combo things up. You go over here to get a thing, and then you take it over here to cash it in for some points or to do something else.
Okay.
You're picking up cards, and you're trying to slot them in. The whole card system about how when you acquire new cards, they kind of go on one side of your board to the exhausted side, and then you have to take a turn to reset to pick them all up to move them to the active side of your board. And then as you use them, you slide them across. You get these little workers. If you have the right color worker and you can place it on a card when you move it into the active area or into the played area, you can get a little bonus. So I mean, there's a bunch of little combo-y things that should feel good. It's
and
just
you love combo-y things.
Yeah, I do. I like combo and stuff.
I think my biggest problem with this game is the whole like it's your hand versus your discard versus the active, and like the confusion of all that. It was a game that it didn't hit. I didn't love it. I definitely am glad I didn't buy it. But it was okay. It's an okay game.
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't, like I say, it was not my worst 5 plays of the year. It's not one of the 5 worst games I played, but it's just a game that I was really excited to play, and it didn't blow me away. Yeah,
I actually figured this would be on your list.
Yeah,
and so it was right on my like 5 or 6. So I'm like, okay, I'll put Distilled instead of this. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. That's my my number 3.
Oh, here we go. So BJ heading to bed. Got to swim in the morning. He got like 5 a.m. He goes swimming, I guess. See you all at nice 2028. Get out of here.
2028.
Come on, dude. 2024.
Looking ahead. That's planning ahead.
I know.
Yeah, BJ, great show tonight, guys. Love the conversation. I'm going to bed.
2 out of 10.
Yeah. 2 out of 10. All right. So here we go. We got 2 more to go.
Top 2.
Go a little faster.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to knock these out. Yep.
I'm going to knock this one out because I did not like this game.
The show could be going 3 hours here the way we're going.
Good. Yeah, I know.
I like the conversation here.
Yeah.
Yep. So at Dice Tower East, I like cooperative games. We play Mansion of Madness all the time, other things like that. We got to play this one late at night. I think Michelle owns this one, and we played it as a whole group of us.
Yep.
And wow, I was just like, this game is just not good. It was like, it is what it is. I don't know if you're meant to win it every time or lose it every time, but it just the one play that we had, it was just like, man, we got trounced, and it was hard. And it was like, you were easily knocked out by the monster, but you weren't killed.
For the people listening on the podcast, which game is it?
Oh, thank you.
We haven't even mentioned it. Yeah.
Subterra. Yeah. So Subterra is the game.
Good call, Mike.
Sorry. Thank you. Good call. Thank you. Appreciate that, Mike. Sometimes I forget. I think visually.
I'm here for you guys, man.
Thank you. Yeah. It's so good. It was like half the game, Rob and I were like separated from the main party, and we kept getting knocked down by the monster.
Helping each other up.
And then you got to spend a whole turn to get somebody up, and then knock down, and then help them up again and knock down, and then you get cut off from everybody because of collapse. And it just seemed like not fiddly even. It was just like not even complicated. Just it was very easy for you to get killed. It was very hard to find the way to win. It just didn't hit. I was just like, this is the kind of cooperative game where it was maybe we played with too many players because we had like 6 or 8 8 players in the game, but it was just. I had fun with it because of the game group. It was Diego, it was Michelle, it was you. It was a great game group. And with that kind of group, you would think this has got to be a fun game, right? Like you have to be not a very good experience for me to go. It just didn't hit for me because everyone that was playing the game were amazing people.
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, it just didn't hit me. Yeah, so it's Subterra, my number 2. So
you're running around
again.
Yeah, you're exploring tiles, you're flipping stuff over, and my comment on all that, so just so everybody understands. So you're trying to escape. It's cooperative. You're trying to all find the exit and then all get out of the exit. But there's some certain things you got to do and pick up kind of along the way. And so it's like at some points there's like, okay, the group can go ahead and go. I don't want to hold everybody back, but I need to run over here and grab this thing. And it's just a tile or 2 away. No problem. I'll go do that. You do that, then the monster hits you, and then you're down. And it's now the other group's like, okay, now we got to send somebody back to go get Rob. Although the rest of us are going to keep going because this clock is ticking. We got to find the exit. Right. We got to keep flipping tiles. So as they're going one direction, somebody's going back to now resuscitate me. And then now we're split. We're far apart because they've moved ahead. And then as we're moving out, Wayne's like, oh, I can't move quite as many this turn. Rob, go ahead ahead and move that extra tile. Oh, monster popped up. Now Wayne's down. Now I got to turn around and go back and get Wayne. And so it felt like work. Yeah,
it's like Keystone Tops. Keystone Tops, and it's like it's very random. Like the tile draws, you may not get the tiles you need. You're constantly it's kind of like Betrayal in House on Haunted Hill, where it can be very random. But at least Betrayal in House on Hill can go really, when it's that random, it goes quick, right? This lasted a little while, so it outlasted its welcome. At some point, Rob and I were looking at each other and we're like, just kill me, please.
just literally kill me.
Yep.
So that's my number 2.
My number 2.
All right. My number 2, 2022, and I think this might be the crossover. I can't remember when Rob played this game.
Ooh,
and I don't know if you played it, Wayne, but my number 2 is Endless Winter, Paleo America.
It was on my short list.
Okay.
Mine as well, but not on my list.
Okay. I just don't see it. I don't get this game. It is. And I mean, look at the score on BGG. It's a 7.8 with almost 7,000 ratings.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm missing. I played it twice.
I also don't get that weight. 3.28. That's not a 3.28.
There's just a lot. I mean, there is a lot going on. And if you don't line things up properly, you will not do good in this game. Like you really do have to kind of set up a little bit of an engine so that, you're prepping for, the night phase or whatever it is. But there was like an entire section of this game that you could ignore and you could still like wipe the floor with people.
Wayne did.
Ding, ding, ding. That was my whole comment. It's like I ignored 3/4 of the game and crushed everybody.
It just, and maybe because I'm not playing with some of the expansion, like the modules.
Yeah.
But if you're relying on the modules to make the game good, I mean, there's got to be some good bones in there somewhere to like really carry it forward. And it just did nothing for me. Like the first time I played it, I was like, maybe it's a fluke thing. Let me give it another try. Cause I backed it. I went all in on Kickstarter. I'm thinking this is going to be awesome. Second time through, even I played with the same guys that all of us were kind of like, we don't like, what are we missing here? And we're like, well, we'll play it again the next time we get together. And we got together again. And it was just like, I forget who won the game. It wasn't me, but it was just kind of like, okay, you won. But you didn't even do anything in this entire section over here.
Yep.
And it was just, it fell totally flat. And this was near the top of my list for, I knew I was going to play it sooner than later. And when I finally got it to the table, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. And no, it just kind of bombed for me.
I think it speaks to how quickly it's fallen out of the zeitgeist of like it. No one's talking about Endless Winter anymore, right?
Yeah.
It was in my this was in my close to making the list, but like the fact that I had so much fun the first time and I killed everybody, I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
I think the first time we played, one of my friends, all he did was he just kept killing animals over and over and over.
Wayne did. Yeah, that's what Wayne did.
And he like wiped the floor with us. And then the second game, another one of our friends, he like totally stayed away from
area control.
The thing where you're putting the
huts and area control, building the map,
like the markers, like the square marker. Totally ignored that entire spot and like kicked our ass in that game. Yeah. So it was kind of like,
I think Sam, Rob, and Nick played the game with me, and they were doing it. They were building their little huts and building all that out. And I said, I'm going to go hunt. I'm going to do this and this and
killed us.
Tunnel vision and just killed it.
Yeah.
Another big production mashup of a lot of different mechanisms, a lot of different ideas.
Not worth the price.
Yeah, didn't hit
somebody Monday to sell the game.
It was on my list of 10, so it didn't quite make my top 5, but it was on my 10. Yeah,
get them pelts.
Yep.
All right.
So
that's my number 2.
My number 2, I'm going to keep it brief because we've heard this one already. Crossover. Wah, wah, wah. It is Earth.
I was typing it. I was typing it while you're saying.
Oh, you're typing Earth? Yeah, we can jump back to it. I'm not going to go deep into this one. Wayne said pretty much everything that needed to be said. For me, the killer was Terraforming Mars. I kept hearing Terraforming Mars, maybe better than Terraforming Mars. Oh, this is a better version of Terraforming Mars.
Anticipation killed it, though.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. And so this is no Terraforming Mars. Trust me, folks. No Terraforming Mars. So. Yeah, I mean, it's fiddly as all get out. I've played it physically just once. I don't want to play it physically again. I played it on BGA probably 10 times, or maybe not quite 10. I played it on BGA probably 5 or 6 times. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I want to do digital. Wayne talked about having to trigger the cards in the order from left to right, top to bottom, and having to figure all that out. And then if you get a good engine going, the game I played, the other 3 people at the table were done with their turns because you're doing it all simultaneous and you're triggering all your stuff, but you have to make decisions on each one. Sometimes it's trade. You want to trade this in for that. It's optional. You don't have to, but I can trade one of these for 2 of these, or I can trade one of those. The game that I played physically, I had such a big engine going early on that by mid-game, other people were just sitting there watching me play for another 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. And it's like every turn, it was like, all right, is Rob done yet? Is Rob done yet? Is Rob done yet? And so the rest of us want to play. So, but it's because I had a whole bunch of cards, because you can play cards at different speeds. Triggering the end of the game is having your grid full. And so I was just blitzing cards. I was just getting them out there. And so every time at the end of every round, you go and trigger all your cards. And so, yeah, I just, yeah, way fiddly. Just I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. This photo right here is the textbook definition of fiddly.
Look at that tower back there. It's like what, 8 high or something. You like just touch that thing and it falls over.
Nobody move from the table.
Exactly.
Definitely never play this game with Carlos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So Earth, we've talked about it before. So that's my number 2. Let's hear the number 1s.
All right. So my number 1 is a game that I played this one with Sam. I prayed for the end of this game.
Oh,
it was, oh my God.
I love the story that we have for this game, though.
Yes.
Rob knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Now I say this. So we were at a game day, Beans and Dice, or either Wesley Chapel or Beans and Dice meetup. And there was a young kid. He's a teenager, right? And it was like it was his game, right? And he's like, I want to play this game. I'm like, all right, it looks really cool. Look at the artwork; it's amazing. I love the colors.
It looks
great. And we started playing it, and within like the first 10 minutes of playing this game, I'm like, oh, this sucks. You know, it's horrible. It's not for me. And Sam is like sitting right next to me, and she can like feel the flames in my face, and I was just like. But I'll say this. I definitely play the game. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, King Bacon. Yeah, for sure.
King Bacon. Because even after a while, Sam's like, all right, let's get this done. But we played the game. We played it through. We tried to speed it up a bit. But it was like, all right, how quickly can we finish this game? Because let's just speed through this game.
Man.
Good God, this game just stays like forever. I felt like I was in a time loop. Like. Anyway, the artwork's phenomenal. I really like the game. It's got a good concept, and I can see why younger kids, like a teenager, would love it, because it's all about like how many cards can I combo, and look at me, like the Magic, like 50 million cards in one play.
And the fact that the unique thing that I liked about it was you're relying on other people around the table to help you complete quests. So there is this little bit of negotiation dealing with other people.
Right. Yep. And I think Jim was in that game too. It was Jim, Sam, and I think, right? I think that's where he said there is, yeah. And the kid kept trying to screw people over, bluffing and stuff. Like, Jesus Christ. No, I was like, I'm out. Yeah. This was the biggest miss of the year for me. I was like, and what's crazy is the artwork is gorgeous. This game is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's very unique art, and
good God, it was bad. Just bad game. No.
I had the collector's edition of this game. Yep. I bought it after Kickstarter, but I played it earlier. I don't know when this came out, but Dan and I played it once, and then we played like I think a 4 or 5 player game.
Yeah,
Rob was in on the game. Yeah. Nick was in on the game, and it was like getting to the point where it was just like, good God, somebody please win this freaking game.
Yeah. Oh, no, Dan played this. It was Dan, me, and Sam.
That's right.
Guy.
Dan played
Dan, I think I don't know who it was. It could have been me, where it was like Dan had this ridiculous, like, well, if you help me with this, I'll give you, I'm exaggerating, but it was like, I'll give you 1 coin and I'll take the rest of the 9 coins, or, something really off. And I was like, yeah, let's just do it. And Nick was, I mean, I know Nick gets very upset with games because he's very competitive, and I totally understand that. Nick was so pissed off at the end of that game, and we were kind of laughing because it was just like, we're happy the game's over. We don't even care at this point, But Nick wanted to win so bad, and I think he was very close to winning. And because of what Dan did, he ended up like jumping ahead and getting the 10 points, that you need to win. But yeah, I sold this game almost immediately after that.
About halfway through playing, I see Sam. She picks up Obsession. She has.
Oh yeah.
She picks up her copy of Obsession. She opens it up and she starts stickering.
The meeples. Nice.
She's like,
wow.
I need to do something till time. Yeah, it was good.
I really like the idea of the game. I like the way it plays. I like the mechanisms. I really enjoy the first about 45 minutes, but it drags. Yeah, and it's the whole. You can clearly see who's ahead. Everybody teams up against them, so that they can't get across the finish line.
It makes it longer. Yeah. That's my number one. That's my number one. So
nice.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, good choice. Yeah.
And again, it's a 7.8.
Yeah, I like the play of the game. It's just it drags. It's too long.
Yeah. All right,
Mike.
My number one from 2019. Finally got it to the table. This is one of those huge, ridiculously big box games. This is the Hunters AD 2114.
Good Lord, that
long title.
AD.
Should come up there, right?
There you go, top.
Okay. Longest title of the night.
Back this, and this is mostly I think of like a 7.2
rating. It's got an 8.2 rating.
I know. This is like a 7th continent type of game where you're like placing cards out while you're exploring, but it's like on steroids. And the concept is absolutely amazing. The artwork is amazing. You've got characters that you can build up, and the weapons slot in specially, and you can upgrade the weapons, and you can see the upgrades, clicking together. And as you discover locations, it's so much like a full-on video game as far as like side quests and your main quest and visiting this particular location. You could randomly get something, and if the time expires, it changes the card at this location. Between the rule book being like, just the information was all over the place. It took you forever to figure anything out. And when you finally did, you didn't know if you were doing it right. And the fact that it's mostly cards, and it is a freaking table hog. I mean, there is so much maintenance while you play this game, and it's totally unbalanced where your guys that you're playing with, I was soloing it with 2 characters, and I personally like trying things without being like the grunt or, the soldier, or, I like playing a thief or, the medic. Or if you didn't play this game with the soldier, you were not going to win this game. Like it's just so unbalanced. And again, the first time I sat down with this, I probably spent, I don't know, 3 to 4 hours on it. And then the second time, like I was thinking, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I watched a video on how to play, and I was like, okay, well, that makes a little more sense. But even the people that were doing the how to play were like, well, I'm not 100% sure if this is the right way I'm doing this, and blah, blah, blah. And I sat down again for like another 4 hours with it, and I barely got anywhere in this game. And I was just like, screw it. I packed it all up, and I was like, I'm getting rid of this game as soon as I can. And that's what I ended up doing. And after I packed it up, I ended up watching this one guy's playthrough, and he got up to about episode 8, and literally in the middle, I don't think he was live streaming it, but like towards the end of the video, he's just like, you could hear the frustration in his voice, and he's like, that's it. I'm done playing this game. And you can hear him just building up. And he's like, This game is just stupid. This game is ridiculous. He starts going through all the reasons why he can't. He's like, I'm never going to play this game again. And,
Rough.
I'm really sorry, guys. I really wanted to get through. And yeah, he just ended the video. Like, I'm done with this game.
Wow.
So I was like, all right,
I want to watch that video.
Yeah,
or
just the last bit of it at least. Yeah.
But so anyway, and
Right.
people love this game, and they just did another Kickstarter for, I think it's called The Hunters 1914 or 1814. Like it's in the past instead of the future. And the guys, I mean, people love this game. And again, maybe if somebody sat down and explained how to play the entire freaking game to me, which that shouldn't be a requirement. Like you should have somewhat of a good rule book, especially since this was the second edition. So you had all this time to refine it and streamline it.
Yeah.
Nope. So anyway, this was a $200+ mistake on my part.
Wow.
I ended up making most of the money back, though. Actually, by selling it. So, but anyway,
Well, we've seen already tonight, though. All of our lists, there's a trend of overpriced Kickstarter games that should be better. Like for the price tag, you expect X game, and it's not. It's like the bloat of Kickstarter is the pain. Yeah. So cool.
Agreed.
All right, Rob, where you at? Number 1.
Yeah, I don't have a story nearly as good as Mike's.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But my number 1 is going to be Pulsar 2849.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is an older game. And this is a game for years. Well, I say older. I don't know how many years.
Yet I have it still.
Oh, do you really? Yeah, and it's it was it's 7.7. So again, it's another pretty highly rated game, and people seem to love this game. And I all the reviews I see of it, people rave about it. They love it. They enjoy it. I just noticed. I talk about how I like space games. I have 3 space games on my bottom 5 experiences here.
I love space games.
I love space games. Do you really?
Starship Captains and Pulsar 2849, but I can't say much about those, and I just didn't get it. I guess I didn't understand the opening setup. I can't remember. There's something random that goes on at the beginning, and you get stuff. I can't remember if it's a draft or whatever. This is how forgettable it was for me. But you get some things, and when I did my opening thing, people looked at me and they were like, "Oh, that's broken. You're going to win. That's ridiculous that you got that combination." I got creamed in this game. So I was playing against people who had played it before, but I don't know. I must have missed something. There must have been something about this game. I just didn't. I just.
Yeah, Sam had 3 comments. Like, no,
yeah, I was so fast.
Play it again.
Oh,
That's great.
Great. Yeah. But I don't know. I just, like I say, everybody seems to like this game. And Pulsar 2849, I was so excited about it. Dice Tower talked it up. Everybody, the Dice Tower staff, I think, likes it. I've never heard any of them say anything about it.
Loves this game.
Yeah, this is a game he really likes. I just didn't catch something. There's something that was over my head. We played like 5 games that night, and this was first or second game we played. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't ready to go. Maybe I wasn't warmed up. There was something about this game I missed, and I'm willing to try it again. Just because of all the hype and how many people like it. And again, it's not a new game. It's a game that's got some staying power. People still talk about it, and it's I don't know how many years old, but I don't know. Like I say, I don't have a whole lot to say about it just because I don't remember a whole lot about the experience. I guess it was just kind of like I was just playing it to play it, and I was just kind of following what other people were doing, but it didn't hit for me. Yeah, I don't know.
I have not played this one yet, so Sam loves it. She needs to maybe. We need to play. We need to play it with her, and she
teach me what I did wrong.
Teach me what I did wrong, and explain it. Yeah, because I have heard great things about this game.
Yeah.
But you're not the first person though. So mostly positive, but I have had 1 or 2 people go, I didn't get it. Right. So it could be one of those things where it depends on how you play it.
As far as Dice Tower, I don't think Z Garcia cares for this game.
Oh, really? Does he not?
If I remember correctly. And I still have it. Still never hit the table, but I really do want to play it because it looks like I love dice chucking, and this is a lot of using your dice as you have to mitigate it somehow if you got bad rolls, and so anyway, this is high up on my list.
You're dice drafting in this one, so you roll all the dice and then you place them into these positions, and depending on which section you draft them from, you have stats that go up or down or how far it is. Yeah, Vladimir Succi, so we have big designer,
very, very, and he's very heady. He's very
Yeah,
way
maybe
smarter than all of us type guy.
Maybe I wasn't ready for the thinky part of it and the challenging part of it. I mean, it's in space, there's exploration, but it is very methodical. You kind of got to do things a certain way. You got to kind of chain things together. You got to be careful how you draft dice. Sometimes the good ones, the 1s and the 6s, are on the end, but they affect your stats by taking far away from the mean. So it's there's a good amount of thinking in this game. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there's your number one.
There's my number one.
That's good. A good list, I think, all around. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're over an hour and 20
Yeah, I was
minutes.
going to say, I was almost an hour doing that. So we've got a game show to do still, and we've got a top 5. So what do we think?
Doesn't matter to me, guys. What do you want to do?
Let's do the game show, man. So what if it's more than 2 hours? As long as you guys are okay with staying on, I'm totally.
I'm off tomorrow, so I'm good.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
All right. Let's do this game show.
The game show. See how bad I can mess with you guys. All right.
Yeah.
I did awesome. I got 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. That's got to be my score automatically. No matter how well I do, it's 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
All right. So explain to us how this is going to work, Wayne.
All right. So how this is going to work is, and so everyone out there, you can play along. There are 10 questions. Each question is. Yeah, it's PowerPoint.
Go ahead. I'm joking.
I'm not gonna actually do the whole share the PowerPoint screen because then I got both my monitors.
Yeah.
The new PowerPoint because it does like here's what you're showing and here's what you're. Anyway, so 10 questions, multiple choice. Each question has a bonus question, so you can get up to 20 points.
Okay.
For each question. Okay, so pretty straightforward. So
this is multiple choice. You said, right? A through D. I'm assuming most of them.
Yeah, A through D. Yeah. Four. Every question has 4 possible answers.
Okay.
And then the bonus question relates typically to the main question. So it's like main question.
That one's not. And that's not multiple choice though. That one we have to write.
That was not multiple choice. That one's you have to just fill in the answer. Yeah. So you can kind of guess it and play along. Keep score at home and see. I have no idea how hard this actually is. For
Sam's
me,
all in
like,
on this.
No cheating.
Sam's all in. Okay. Yeah, Sam's all in. I enjoy quiz. There we go, Sam. There you go. So play along. Tell how you do. All right. So we'll start off with. We'll go here.
Are they starting off easy and then like getting harder, or is it just like kind of mismatched?
I think it's kind of all over the place. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Cool.
This
all
could be a total train wreck. We'll see. All right. So question 1. What is the second oldest game on the BGG Top 100 as of this week? So there's a game older than all of these, but one of these is the second oldest game on the BGG Top 10 list.
Top
100 list. Yes. So is it A, Twilight Struggle, B, Puerto Rico, C, Power Grid, D, El Grande? So which of these is the oldest game?
I'll be honest. I'm not sure which one. All right. I've got my answer. Do we like hold it up in front of the camera when we're ready?
Yeah, sure. But the bonus is
there's
there's a game older than these. What is the oldest game in the top 100? And so you both are correct. El Grande is the oldest game.
Okay. Oh, nailed it. All right.
So
what is the oldest?
I'm just going to say my answer. And
think about
say let me know when you're ready, Rob, and I'll say my answer out loud.
Golly, the oldest game in the BGG Top 100.
Top 100.
Holy mackerel.
It comes from the 1800s.
Oh, I know what the answer is then.
Okay, Mike, you've got it. I have no clue. I would say Mike Mancala or something crazy. That's way older than that.
My left shoulder, Crokinole.
Really?
Correct, Crokinole, 18.
Very nice, Mike. Good pull. Nice.
Mike.
2 points for Mike.
There you go. 2 points for Mike, 1 for Rob.
All right. I'll take my point.
All right, ready for number 2?
Number 2.
Yep.
Question 2. Which game won the first Spiel des Jahres award? The very first Spiel des Jahres award. Was it Hare and Tortoise, Scotland Yard, Barbarossa, or Mississippi Queen? And the bonus is, in what year was it?
Oh, man.
All right, well, I got my 2 points for the game.
Yeah, that's it. You're done.
I'll be honest. I only know Scotland Yard, but I'm going to guess.
I don't even know how old.
I'm just guessing. I have no idea.
Oh, you're just going to do the letter first. My pen's running out. I went A. I went Hare and Tortoise.
Okay. So you went Hare and Tortoise, and you went
Mike
C, Barbarossa?
Barbarossa.
In what year? What year, guys?
Oh, gosh. I don't even know how old the Spiel des Jahres is, honestly.
What's going on?
I'd guess 1988. I don't know.
I was going to say, I'll say 73.
Okay. Wow. So the answer is Hare and Tortoise
in
1979.
All right, I got the Heron Tortoise, but was way off. What I say 88? Yeah, I was off 9 years on the
9
years.
years, yeah. So it's now tied. Rob has 2. Mike has
Nice.
All
All
right,
right,
let's keep it competitive. Yeah,
There
I'll
we
try
go.
to
There we go.
different
All
pin
right.
here.
All right, third
I think
question.
Chester's looking answers up though, man, because he's
Yes.
Oh, is he on it? Oh, look at that.
I'm joking, Chester.
All right.
All right.
Who has won the most Spiel des Jahres awards? Is it A, Wolfgang Kramer, B, Klaus Teuber, C, Alan R. Moon, or D, Donald X. Vaccarino?
I have my answer.
Wow.
And then your bonus point is, what is that total? How many have they won?
Crying out loud, man. This is my answer.
I'm writing them both
And again,
down.
I have no idea. I'm
I don't either.
guessing here.
I'm going Vaccarino, and then I said 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 5.
So you're both wrong on the first part. So the
Of
answer
course.
is
Kramer.
Wolfgang Kramer
Oh, 5.
has won 5 Spiel des Jahres awards.
Okay. Well, I didn't get the first part right, so I don't think I get points for the second part.
No, okay, all right. You don't want to give your point for getting the 5 right?
I mean, I'll take it if you want to give it to me.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it
Are
to
you
you.
gonna give it? Oh, look at that. All right.
See
Take
how
it.
it
Take it.
goes.
Take it.
All right.
All right, number 4. All right, which of these designers has the most number of games credited on BGG? Is it Wolfgang Kramer, Uwe Rosenberg, Bruno Cathala, or Martin Wallace? And here's the bonus question is, there's a designer that has more than all of them.
Oh.
Oh well.
So who has
we
the
know that
most?
one. All right. This is my answer for that one.
I'm saying. I was saying B, Rosenberg, but
Evil Bowtie Man has the record for a number on
yeah, that's what I'm
BGG.
thinking. Yeah. What's his name?
Dr.
Rainer Knizia.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. So
Yeah. The good doctor.
You clearly both got that point, but you both failed in getting.
Oh,
Wolfgang Kramer has 270 games credited on BGG.
I was off by 9. I said Uwe.
Lowest
261.
Oh, I thought you meant lowest number on BGG.
Oh, the fewest.
Yeah, Rainer Knizia has 707 games
Wow.
credited on BGG.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yep.
that one.
So here we go. We got
There's
it's
5
Mike.
that are good.
Mike's at 4. Rob is at 3 currently. So.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Question 5. So as far as individual ratings, so me, you, any of us go on and rate the game on BGG. Which of these games has the most BGG ratings? Is it Codenames, Terraforming Mars, Dominion, or Puerto Rico?
This is a great group of games that you have listed here because it could be any one of them, and Puerto Rico would be like the wild card. Was like, hold on a second, maybe Puerto Rico does have more votes than everybody else.
Yeah, it's down to.
There is one game that has more than all of them.
Yeah. What's the bonus
Which game has
question?
more than all of them?
I
The
know
bonus
the-
question is which has the most.
I think I know the bonus one.
I'm saying Codenames is my primary choice there.
I'm gonna give it to Dominion.
Oh, Dominion.
Okay.
Okay.
And then which game has the most ratings on BGG?
The one that Rob finished playing with his group. I was gonna say Gloomhaven.
Okay, Gloomhaven. Rob, what do you
really?
got?
No, I was gonna say something light like oh gosh, I don't know. Crap. The Starburst tile placing game.
Azul.
Oh, it's
Azul. Yeah, I was gonna say Azul.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys get 0 on this one.
Oh,
Louise.
wah, wah.
Terraforming Mars.
Remember Mars. I thought about it for a second. Yeah.
93,302
Catan.
ratings. And
Yeah.
Catan has the
Catan.
most
Oh,
ratings.
there you go.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I deserve to get no points on that one.
I thought Rob would go with his favorite game here. Like he would pick
That's what I thought
Terraforming
too.
Mars,
I
right?
thought about it for a second. I was like, but I just Codenames is so much quicker.
They're all fairly close. I mean, they're like,
Yeah.
this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Yeah.
Figured it'd be a shorter game.
All right, question 6. Which of these games is the oldest known board game in history? A, the Royal Game of Ur, B, Go, 3, Backgammon, and D, Senate. So these are all roughly dated based on archaeological digs and findings, which is the oldest game known to man. And then the bonus question is checkers, which, I mean, checkers, right? Dates back to about the same age as one of these 4 games, which is
wow.
As one of the 4 games.
yeah. So
Okay,
checkers
well-
matches the carbon dating to about one of these 4 games. So
Okay, this is my oldest guess.
Go.
I'm guessing Senate, and then I was going to say Go is my answer for the second part.
Okay.
And
all right.
was gonna, I was. Well, no, actually, I was thinking backgammon. But go ahead.
Is that your? What's your answer?
That's my. I know I'm probably wrong, but go ahead.
So your answer is the oldest game is what? B.
Go.
And then the checkers dates back to what?
Backgammon.
Backgammon. Okay, well that's correct. So.
Oh wow, you got them both.
So the oldest game is Senate, which is
Senate.
3500 BCE. So Rob gets that one.
Yep.
And backgammon dates back to about 3000 BCE, and checkers dates back to the same time as backgammon. So it's kind of interesting.
I thought Go would have been a lot older than that.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I thought it would have been older in that list of games.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually the youngest of all of them. Yeah. So
wow.
Cool.
All right. So
here is a mass market question for y'all. In what year was the original version of Risk released? 1959, 1957, 1974, 67, excuse me, 1974, 1986. And then a bonus point that's completely unrelated to Risk. How much is the fine to get out of jail in Monopoly?
in Jeopardy.
Jeopardy, yeah, Monopoly. Sorry, Monopoly. How much is the fine to get out of jail in Monopoly?
All right, I know the bonus answer.
I'm not sure about the bonus one. That's embarrassing, but yeah, I don't know.
I had to throw in one mass market question, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess this. I'm gonna guess C.
Actually, I guess C also.
Okay,
1974.
Okay.
And then I said $50.
I was gonna say $200.
Okay.
Oh no! It's $400. 400. Okay. That's my guess.
400.
That's your guess. Okay. So the answer is 1959.
Wow, 59.
It is $50.
And Rob gets it with $50.
Oh, I got it. That was a complete guess. I figured it was less than the 200 for pass and go, so I was debating between 100 or 50, and I went with 50. So
yeah,
wow.
Risk dates back 1959 first version.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was torn between B and C, but I never would have guessed A. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't have thought it was that old.
Question 8. This is
all right. What's the current score? We got 2 more questions.
I got a point there. I think we're tied, aren't we?
5 to 5. Yeah,
5-5. Yeah.
Tied score. There you go. Tied. Okay, so in what year did the Kenner Spiel des Jahres start? So the Kenner Spiel des Jahres was when they decided to separate out the Spiel des Jahres to lighter games and the Kenners with the heavier. When did that happen? 1998, 2002, 2007, or 2011? And the bonus point is this is a tough one, but
oh man,
there are 4 people. There are 4 individual game designers that have won the Kenner Spiel des Jahres twice. Can you name 2 of them? This is a tough.
This is my guess for the year. I'm guessing 98.
I was B, so I was guessing 2002.
Okay.
And Evil Bowtie Man would be one of my guesses.
I just writing that down. I said
Uwe
and Reiner Knizia.
Uwe and Reiner. Okay. All right. And so
I wouldn't know who to guess.
This was probably the toughest question I think I did. And so to me it was easy because I know these designers really well. So anyway, so the answer is actually 2011.
Oh man.
So neither points.
Wow.
And then the 4 people that have won it twice is Marcus and Inka Brandt, the husband and wife team. They've done Village and a couple other games together. And then Alexander Pfister and Andreas Pelikan have won it twice. They've won it twice. So, yep.
Man, really know my board games.
Well, and then part of it is if Rob had ever played Village with me, he would get this question.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I've never even heard of Pelikan.
Yeah. He works with Pfister. So Pfister's won it twice with him, and Marcus and Brand have also won it twice with 2 different.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
That was the toughest question. So I got it. That was probably one I was like,
Still neck and neck on this.
All right, here we go. Hey, we're all Jamie Stegmaier fanboys here. So here we go. Jamie Stegmaier fanboys. In what year did Jamie Stegmaier release Viticulture? 2009, 2011, 2013, 2015. And the bonus point, he released a second game in that same year. What was it?
Now you got me second guessing myself. I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna look like a fool guessing this, but I'm gonna guess it anyway. You ready, Rob?
I'm guessing B.
I'm guessing D.
Oh, and I'm going Euphoria.
I'm going with Scythe.
Okay. So Sam's I'm not good at this quiz, but she's learning. Okay, so Rob, you got B 11.
Yep.
2011, and Mike, what did you say?
D 2015. I'm saying Scythe.
Scythe. Okay, so Rob gets 2 points here.
Oh
What?
wow.
Flip.
Oh no, I said B.
Oh,
I
no,
said
you said B.
2011.
Sorry, 2013. Yep. So
Okay.
you get one.
I got Euphoria though. All right.
2013 and Euphoria.
I'll take my point.
All right.
Take your point.
Good
so
job.
Here we go. Going into the last question. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Down
for Rob.
1.
5 for
Down
Mike.
1. Yeah.
So
All
this
right.
last one's gonna be interesting. So this
It
is
could be all on
I gotta
there.
go
You
beans
get 2 and
dice
jump to the
history here
lead.
a little bit. So here we go.
Uh-oh.
So, all right. So the first question, I got to throw a Feld question in there because
Oh, wow.
Sam and I love Feld, right? So after Castles of Burgundy, which is ranked number 16, which of these 4 Stefan Feld games is the highest rated game on BGG rankings? Is it Bora Bora, Bruges, Notre Dame, or Trajan? And the bonus point question, the first ever Beans and Dice channel video was a Beans and Dice game recap filmed on 10/5/2019, in which 4 games were highlighted. Which of these 4 games, which one of these 4 was not one of those 4 games? Did y'all play Shogun, Court of the Dead, Downforce, or Flamme Rouge? One of those games was not played in that game day. That's
Okay,
the
I
first
think
ever
I know-
video on the YouTube channel.
I think I know the second one, but
I know the second one. I think
this is my guess for the first one. I'm guessing D. Trajan.
You wrote it down first, but I'm going to go Trajan also, and I'm going Court of the Dead B for the.
I was going to go Court of the Dead as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you both nailed Trajan.
Ah.
Court of the Dead was played.
Oh,
the first ever
wow.
Beans and Dice. The Flamme Rouge was not played.
Really?
On that
Wow.
first ever video.
That was on the video.
Tricky.
No, Downforce was played, not Flamme
Yeah.
Rouge. It was Shogun, Downforce, Court of the Dead, and some other game, something dead, also another dead game. I forget. I wrote the name down somewhere, but I forgot it now. But yeah,
I don't even remember Court of the Dead. I have to go look that one up.
You have to go.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I was thinking of Dice Tower East. I was thinking of the Beans and Dice recap from Dice Tower East from no, that was 2017 though, wasn't it? 2018, 2017? I don't remember. Anyway, congratulations, Rob. Well met.
Rob, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 6.
7 to 6. Yeah,
Rob
good game, Mike.
goes by-
That was
I
close.
got
That was
more
fun.
than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did Mitchell do? Remind us how Mitchell did.
Well, so Mitchell didn't do the bonus questions, but he got 3 of the
okay.
10 right. He got 3
okay.
questions, 3 of the 10. So
All right.
All right. That's not bad. Yeah.
After
Respectable, Mitchell.
Yeah,
Sam got 6. All right. Not bad, Sam.
Oh, nice. There you go, Sam. 6.
Oh,
There you go.
wow. Nice.
So you
Very
were
nice.
tied, Rob. Yeah. I think this might have been harder. Again, I don't know.
Right.
I was like going through questions, coming up on them, and
That was fun. You did a good job.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah,
It
that was
wasn't
good.
horrible. You guys.
Yeah,
no,
no,
that was good.
not at all, man. That was excellent.
I tried to
All
do
right.
I got to do a Beans and Dice question. I got to do a Stefan Feld question. I got to do a couple of awards questions.
Well, yeah.
Well done. Well
All
done.
right.
All right.
Are we going to try to knock out this top 5?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. Are we going to go same order? Let's go same order.
Okay, let me present here. Go back to presenting screens. Yeah, so hopefully y'all played along. Post in Discord how good or bad you did, or tell me
Okay.
I'm crazy.
We're putting these in order as well. I assume I did not order these either. So assuming you guys did, I will order mine real quick here.
Mine are in
Okay.
order.
I'm gonna do mine in order. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm starting, right?
Yep.
All right. So this. Y'all should know this.
wanna
This is gonna
play
be on
this
my
so
list.
bad.
Oh yeah.
This is like as soon as the Dice Tower crew started talking about this game and everyone loved it, and my next neighbor from Brazil, and I'm like, my wife loves comics. This is going to be a hit, and I put this on my list because it's rare. It's rare that a game that is so hyped in your mind just hits expectations, and this game did hit. It's not super heavy, but it is just a fun game. It hits all of the best aspects of comic book collecting. The
And
artwork
for
is
those that are
phenomenal.
listening on the podcast,
Comic Hunters. Thank you. Damn it, Mike.
Comic Hunters.
Comic
Number
Hunters.
5.
Yes. Number 5. I put this at 5 because I've raved about this game so much, and it's like the hype has lived up for me. It doesn't live up for everybody, but it definitely lived for me. The game hits. I'm so glad that it's a hard to find game. It's hard to get. You have to get it from from Brazil, not Puerto Rico.
Brazil.
You have to get it from Brazil. You have to overpay for it. So it's hard to get. And I don't think it's ever going to get mass market release in America just because of the comic book covers are going to be hard for them to get the rights for it. They're going to have to retheme it. But Comic Hunters #5 for me. I was expecting it to be a great game. It is a great game. It's not super heavy, but it just hits. It's a great game.
Awesome. Good choice.
Yeah, good game.
And I definitely want to play this. If I go to Dice Tower East, I want to play this game with you guys.
Have you played it, Mike, already?
No, I haven't. Not at all.
You never played it at all? Oh, wow. Yeah. I
but I'm
played it 4 or 5
looking
times. Yeah. Great game. Yep.
Sam agrees.
Yep.
Yes.
Good.
All right. My number 5, I know we're kind of trying to get through these a little bit quicker. My number 5 is a 2021 title. Everybody at the Dice Tower raves about this game. And it is Sleeping Gods.
Good choice.
Yeah. So Ryan Lockett, Red Raven Games. I think I acquired this sometime this year, like maybe closer to the middle of this year. And my oldest son Matthew was staying with us for a little bit. And he's a board gamer, not as heavy as I am, probably because he just doesn't have the time. But he's like, let's get a good game going, one that you've been wanting to play. And I was like, what about like this story-based game? Are you into something like that? And he's like, oh yeah, let's try it out. And I think the first time we played this game, I'm not exaggerating, we probably played for about 8 hours straight. And it was just one of those games where we were laughing and having a good time. And it was just like these ridiculous things that were happening. Of course, I told you we shouldn't have gone over to that island. And,
Yep.
And we haven't even scratched the surface on this game. And I think we found two, because you're supposed to find like these artifacts. I forget what they're called in the game. I think we only found 2 of them. And, through the course of events, he just, he had to head back home. But like we have vowed that we are definitely going to get back to this game and play it as many times as we need to in order to beat it. But like I'm looking so forward to playing this again because it was just such a great time, and the story is good, and the way you have to help each other out in the game. Did you play a
full run? Did you go all the way through?
Yeah, we played a full run until I think it's like, what is it? The ship either has to sink or all your people have to die or something like that. I forget.
Yeah, there's a deck that you go through. You go through it once and then you reset it and you go through it a second time. Yep. So it's the full run.
We did get through it the second time, but and I understand like you're not supposed to beat it on the first time. You're supposed to like figure out, okay, well this artifact is over here, so that when you finally get everything lined up, you know exactly where to go to beat the game before your deck runs out for the second time. So
yeah, my understanding is that you don't really beat the game. If I remember correctly, we played it. It started last year. We played Nick Oben's copy. It was me, Nick, Carlos, and Dan. We never completed our first full run, but from what I understand, there's 100 artifacts in the game, and so each time you play. Really? Yeah, you're collecting as many artifacts on each run as you can. Well, I think it's pretty well known.
I'm joking.
But you're collecting as many as you can. So like they tell you, like an average run, you get somewhere between 2 and 4 of the artifacts. But you can keep resetting it, and you can go in different directions because as you go off one side of the map, you flip to another page, and you go and explore different things. And so by multiple plays, you're trying to just go all the different directions, follow all the different storylines, and find ultimately 100 different artifacts. So it's kind of like a completionist collection kind of game, like video games. A lot of these video games where you're trying to 100% it, you're trying to find all the feathers or all the whatever. So that's kind of the idea here, is that each run, you're trying to see how many you can get, but you can like you say, you can learn how to efficiently grab things, but then you go different directions, have different stories, and collect different sets of artifacts. So
gotcha.
I've not played it, but I think this is a game that would be up my wife's night alley as far as it's cooperative, it's story driven,
narrative. Yeah, I think you guys would like it.
Yeah, I don't like story. games as much, but this one really drew me in. Yeah.
I'll be on the lookout for like a used copy, like somebody like says that they have like a copy that's for sale or something. I'll pick it up. Yeah, cool.
It's supposed to be a great solo game. I can see that when you play it, you're actually sharing almost all of the resources. You can take control of any character at any time and do different things. So it feels a little wonky that way when you're playing quad. We played with 4 players, and to be able to grab Carlos's guy and do whatever I want with him feels a little weird. But it really is. It's really kind of a solo game that they've made multiplayer, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Agreed.
All right, cool, good one, Rob. What's up?
All right, so my number 5. Let me see. Hold on. I just scratched him down here. Oh, Wayne's going to probably give me a little grief on this one because he has another one in this vein that he likes better. But I've talked about it just recently, last week. Raw is a game that I played for the first time this year.
Short list.
Oh yeah. This is a game I played for the first time this year. I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. The whole. It's a bidding game. You're limited in your bids. You can only, I think you have 4 bidding chips. So if you bid out on the first 4, then you kind of sit and watch everybody play the rest. But the interaction in the game and watching people try to manipulate each other and be like, oh, I don't really want that. And then, oh, no, I really do. Let me throw that bid out there. And you have one shot at it. It goes around the table one time. And you either, you bid or you don't. You outbid somebody. And then the whole raw. You can stop the tile drawing at any point, called raw. And then that automatically initiates a bid for whatever tiles are out there. You can press your luck. You can keep putting tiles out and see if you can get a bunch of stuff out there that you might want so that you can bid on it. This game's just a ton of fun. And bidding games I like. I don't love bidding games, but this one I had a lot of fun with. And I know, Wayne, you said it's your least favorite of the 3 in the series. Yeah.
And by least favorite, I'm talking.
Oh, yeah.
They're still high.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, I love Raw. Don't get me wrong. I love Raw, but like, so the good doctor.
Yeah.
Has
The doctor.
basically, we talk about his 3 closed system auction bidding games. You have Raw, you have Medici, and you have Drum Fabric, Hollywood Blockbuster.
I got to play that one.
Horror, whatever. They're all closed system bidding. They're all fantastic. I love them all. I love Medici is the one that hits the table the most with my game group. I like Hollywood Blockbuster because you're building movies and you're trying to make movies. Raw is the one that I love, but I also love to hate because in the game group I play in, my friend Steve is like that guy that will always grab Raw the moment you don't want him to grab Raw.
That was me.
He will always bid. Like if there's a bidding round and you go, okay, I can go up to 20 on this, right? Or I'm going to bid this chip, and he will bid one more than that every time. And it's like, damn it, So the stress of this game is amazing. I love it. The bidding actions in this game is so stressful. When do you want to lay it? It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
they're all great. Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Yeah, this is a great
That's
game.
my number 5. Yep. Number 4, Wayne.
All right, number 4, back to me. All right, I'm gonna go here. This is one that I watched the Dice Tower playthrough of it, and I was like, this seems like an interesting game. But how good could it be? And then I got a copy of it cheap at the Your Turn. I got it for like $20 at the Your Turn flea market. Yeah, thank you. And we played it, and we've played it 3, 4, 5 times now. And this is a game that, as our group has started to play it, we've seen it hit more and more of the top 20 lists for the year. Right now, it's fallen off a couple of people's lists, but just first rat. Thank you, Mike. I mentioned the game, right?
I was waiting.
Yeah, I got it. I'm getting there. I'm going to remember that. This is just a fun game, and it's fast. And there's a lot of choices, like how you move your rats up to the ship. Do you build for the ship? Do you build for the cheese? Do you build for the abilities? Like, there's lots of different things to win. And it's kind of just this weird kind of unique theme. It's like, okay, these rats think that they're going to build a spaceship and fly to the moon. It's like it's weird, right? But it just works. And it's simple, but then there's just the complexity of how you move your rats through the board. You're always moving them up. And I think Sam hits it right here. Sam had the comment, surprisingly good. Like, it's just a game that, like, you look at it, you hear the theme, you hear the mechanics, you're like, how could this be good? You go, wow, this game is actually really fun. This is just a fun game. It's just lots of fun.
Made my top 10.
It made your top 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
made my top 10 for the year. Yeah.
I know I played it. That Nick's played it a few times, and like Nick Oben has said, like, oh, this game is just fun. Lots of fun decisions. It's just there's really no downtime. You're always thinking about what you can do next. It's just fun. Yeah. So
What's the
first
weight
round.
on this game on BGG?
Wait, it's got to
let's
be
see.
fairly light. Yeah, it's not
I'm just
complicated.
curious because
2.26. So yeah,
okay,
little less than midweight, but like it's just the mechanics are fun. Like it's like snakes and ladders. It's Candyland, right? You in general, right? You're moving your guys up and up. You're always moving forward, but then there's
Right.
some options to fall back. And it's how you move the rats to sort of synergize, whether you're getting pieces for the rocket ship versus cheese versus other things. And there's like 8 different ways to score. It's just a fun game. It's cute. It's fun. Yeah. So first rat was a hit. Didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I bought it used at the flea market because I figured it's something I could play with my kid. But it's surprisingly, you could play with kids. But I think I played 3-4 times with pretty hardcore gamers, and we're all like, this is fun. So yeah, first rat.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's one I have heard a lot about it, and I just kind of like, maybe. But with you talking about it, I definitely want to try it now.
A lot of fun. Good game.
Very cool. All right, so my number 4, as of today, I own it. I own Sleeping Cats too, but as of today, I own this game. So it's Ponzi Scheme.
There we go.
Out in 2015 from Tasty Menstrual Games, which is no longer around. So this game is out of print. I went to there's a Zulu board game is a little bit away from here, but I went to their Monday game night a couple of times, and one of the guys that I met there, similar in age, similar likes in games. He loves Res Arcana, so how can you not like a guy that likes Res Arcana?
Great guy.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna bring Ponzi Scheme. You ever play it?" And I'm like, "No." And I like looked it up. I was like, "This does not look good at all. Like this doesn't even pique my interest." He's like, "It's got a lot of player interaction. I think you'll like it." Blah blah blah. And it's basically it's strictly a financial game, but you're also wheeling and dealing with other people with this. Have you guys played this game?
I haven't.
No, did Bernie made off the game? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's so like you're collecting these chevron tiles that like represent different industries, and you're collecting cards where you're collecting money, and then it'll say on the bottom of the card, in X number of days you have to pay back X amount. So like in the beginning, they're very low amounts. So you may take a card that gives you $11, and then in 4 days you have to pay back 10 of that $11. But the second part of the round is there's this wallet where, and I hate the fact that it uses paper money, but it works in this game. You are secretly putting an amount of money in this wallet, and you are bidding for other people's industry tiles because the tiles are progressively worth more money the more that you have in front of you. And if you have X number of tiles, if you have one tile in one industry, you can only pick cards from the top row. If you got 2 from the same industry, then the set middle one and 3 and so on. So you're trying to gain, and the only way that you can get more than 3 tiles is by buying them off of somebody. So and you have to have the same colored tile as the other person. So let's say, Wayne, you've got a red one, I've got a red one. I really want that red tile from you. And it's close to the beginning of the game. I'll stick $10 in the wallet and I'll say, I want your red tile, and I hand it over to you. And you secretly look at the amount of money in there, and you have 2 choices. You can either take the money, give me the red tile, or you can put the same amount of money from your bank in there. So you'd be giving me back $20, and then you're buying my red tile from me. So every single turn, there is a transaction going on. Either I'm getting yours or you're getting mine. But it comes down to the game ends when somebody goes bankrupt when it comes time to pay.
Gotcha.
And it's just this constant if I know he needs money, so if I offer him $15, he may take it, but he may have because all the transactions are 100% silent. You have no idea how much that other person offered so and so for whatever that tile was. So you really don't know how much money people have once you get a few rounds into the game. Like one person may have over $100. You have no idea because of what's being passed around. So it's like, well, if I offer them $20, I really want that tile. And then, they look at it and they're like, they throw another 20 in there and they're stealing your tile. And it's just this, it's there. And there's just a ton of player interaction, and it's such a fun game. That I would have never played if it wasn't for the guy that I met at this meetup. That's the leather wallet, but I know it looks boring as hell. Believe me, it does look boring, but playing the game, there's just so much mental games going on.
Sounds like fun.
Playing it.
Highly recommend. TMG's gone now, so hopefully maybe somebody will pick it up, or maybe we'll see a new iteration of it.
It would be nice, because the copies that are in decent condition, I mean, they're still going for $60 to $100. So it's hard to find them.
This will be a good test of the Vassal's Law of if a game's good enough to get reprinted, because this is a game that I've never heard of it. Right? This is literally today I've learned about the game Ponzi Scheme, or maybe I learned about it years ago and forgot about it. But so. Will it stick around enough to somebody go, this game deserves a reprint? So that'd be interesting. All right, sweet.
Oh, number 4. My number 4. Let me help you spell it, Wayne. It's going to start with a TZO. I don't know. It's not. That wasn't a comment on your thing, but that should bring it up automatically. Yeah, exactly. Tzolk'in, the Mayan calendar. So
really?
This is This is I like this one quite a lot. Another. I'm going to call it semi-classic. What year did this come out? 2012, does it say?
Yep,
2012. So 11 years ago.
So 11 years ago. This game, I mean, the toy factor of it is one thing all of itself. These gears that you see there, the little skulls, the all the little bits in this are well done. I think this game is credited with this new mechanism. Well, it was new at the time, mechanism of its worker placement, but it's worker placement that you're putting things onto some kind of track, and there's several of these types of games now. But you're pressing your luck. You're deciding how long to leave them on there. You've got a certain pool of workers. Every time you either have to place some workers or pull some workers. And so you're playing this game within the game of, all right, well, I've got 3 workers. I want to go ahead and put 2 out this turn so I can get ahead of a couple people on a couple of tracks. But that means next turn I can only place 1. And then the turn after that, I have to pull workers off because I don't have any more that I can place. And then you're having to feed your people. I'm a Uwe Rosenberg fan, so I'm always into feeding your workers, feeding your people, doing whatever. So at the end of 4 stages of this game, you have to feed your people. There's a tile collection part of the game. It's another game with a bunch of mechanisms mixed together. Some people have blinged this out. They've taken these gears and just painted them, really cool colors and made them look like classic old Mayan artwork. This game is a lot of fun. Tzolk'in, the Mayan calendar. Like I say, I'm going to call it a classic. 2012. I'm going to say it's a classic. A lot of people.
It's over 10 years old. I think.
There you go. Over 10 years old in board gaming can make it a classic. So, but one I had never played until this last year, and I've played it. I've played it probably close to 10 times on BGG. I've played it 2 or 3 times now in person, and just a lot of fun for Euro gamers. It's not a light game. It's not an entry level type game. But if you're kind of a Euro gamer, a little bit more into thinky, a little more into comboing some things, building up some resources, trading them in, the whole mind game of trying to get ahead of people on certain tracks and certain of these gears to get what you want. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy Tzolk'in.
This was on my short list of games to put on my. I really liked it. I hadn't played it before. This is another one it's an older game, like who's Hanukkah that was on my bad list. This is almost my good list. Older game that I hadn't played it this year. I really like it. It's on my kind of Amazon wish list of games I like to own. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was just about didn't make my list. Yeah.
Have you played it, Mike?
I have not, and especially with you talking about it, it's got total table presence. Something that I would be interested in trying for sure.
Yeah, the whole as you turn the wheel, all the other wheels turn and your workers move, and the spaces get juicier, and you're like, do I take it there or do I
talk about one more turn? Wait for it. It's really good. Yeah.
All right.
The Chester says, "Feed your peoples."
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right. So number 3 now, right?
3.
All right.
So number 3. So this is like my mea culpa, right? Of like I poo-pooed this game hard.
Uh-oh. He turned
before
around.
I actually played it. I didn't
around.
quite turn around. So here's the thing: is
No?
like so.
All
So I've enjoyed this game a lot. Played it first time in person at Dice Tower East, Arc Nova. Thank you. Yeah, I should say it faster. So Arc Nova. So the biggest complaint we had about Arc Nova was how long it takes to play, right? And I that has not ruined. Like we played it at Dice Tower East, and I think it was Dan, me, Rob. Did you play with us?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You play and somebody else. I forget who the fourth player was.
Yeah, Dan and I were teaching. I can't remember who it was, but yeah,
it was a long play. We were there for 2 to 3 hours. It was a long play, but it was like having it on the table and seeing its table presence. I had played it on BGA, I think once or twice before then. And it was kind of like, I don't know what's going on. Once I played it in person, and even Dan said it, I get this game now. Okay, this is fun. I'll never play it again in person. I'll just play it on BGA from now on. And that's what I think is. I will say that I get why there's hype for the game because I love the gameplay. You have to build your zoo, and then you're playing cards in your zoo. You're trying to do your researching and do those things. I still think the scoring in the base rules is crap, where it's like you have to cross them and do negatives to positive. I like the way they score it on BGA, where it's kind of goes all positive. So I definitely like the game. I love the zoo aspect of it. I think the building of it works well. I really like it on the digital format. I will play it in person, but I'm not looking to play it in person. So that's why it's not higher on my list of games. I put it on this list because it was one that I was crapping on it. Like, this game doesn't deserve to be in the top 100 so fast. And it was like, because the game went from like 0 to like, it's in the top 10 games of all time, over time. And I still am not quite where it should be in the top. I don't think it should be in the top 10 games of all time, but it is a really good game. It's solid. So I will say that I get the hype and sort of the hype train going on it. So that's why I put it on this list of it definitely surprised me. Because when I sat down to play it at Dice Tower East, I'm like, okay, here I am. I'm going to prove why this game is too long, doesn't deserve the hype, shouldn't be in the top 100. And I'm like, okay. I got to admit, yeah, it's a really good game. It's solid. Yeah. I definitely do. The issue I have with the game is trying to get cards and make your synergies is hard because of this giant deck. You may never get, and sort of with Distilled too, is like you may never get the card you're actually looking for. So you have to be able to pivot quickly. But it's a solid game. So I have to give it a little bit of mea culpa on the game. Is definitely does deserve the hype. I don't know if it deserves top 10 hype, but it is still a very solid game. So yeah.
So do you not like playing it in person because of like the maintenance during the game, or like why do you prefer it electronic then?
It's a little bit of the maintenance and just speed of play. Like it just like playing it asynchronous, like you can just kind of make a turn to go. But like it is a 2 to 3 hour game, and so it's a little long for like physically playing in person. I think it plays a little longer than it should. It should play a little quicker. If you could finish the game in 2 hours, that'd be great. I think this game would skyrocket, but I don't see playing this game at 4 players under 2 hours.
Okay.
And
it can be long.
It can be long. It's like saying Arc Nova gets better every time you play. As you learn the cards, then you get better at it. Yeah. So I
agree with Sam 100% there. It's Carlos and I openly poo-pooed it for the first couple times we played it. We played it just 2-player a couple times, and because we had played it at Sobo a couple years ago, and it was an overnight experience. We played like 2 hours the first day with a teach. I think it was max player, kind of 4 or 5 players, and then we actually had to come back the next morning and finish it for another hour. And so we both had a real bad taste of it there. But then we played it a couple times head to head, and I was like, I started to come around on it a little bit. Carlos still didn't like it, but as I played it on BGA now, probably 6 or 7 or 8 more times, and then played it a few more times in person, every time I play it, it seems to get better. And as I kind of learn those combinations, learn what's going on. And as far as that deck, the expansion, I haven't played the expansion yet, but supposedly that fixes the cycling of cards issue, because the deck is ocean based. It's oceanic animals or whatever, but there's cards that allow you to, they're like wave cards, and they allow you to wash away all of the cards on display and put out 5 new cards or whatever. So it really, if you're trying to mill that deck to find the card you want, you just play a few of those wash away cards, and then you can just completely wipe up the board and reset them. So
I think there's always like 5 or 6 cards out, right, Mike? And then there's a giant deck. And when you take cards, you can either snap a card from the deck, like take one of the 5s that are up, or you can grab like 3 or 4 from the deck. And I think in almost all of the times I've played this game, I always just give me cards from the deck. Like, I don't care about these cards that are face fucked because none of them are good for me. I just want these. So, but no, like you said, it is one of those games. I think, like, so Rob, me, is other people. It's a game that you have to play it 3, 4, 5 times to really like, okay, now I'm getting it. And so I think maybe where like Tom and some of the Dice Tower or some of the board game reviewers were so high on it so quickly, maybe they just could see the
potential of it,
or they played it a bunch of times because they had to review it. So
maybe they played it before. I think so. That's what. But yeah, so it has grown considerably on me. So that's it. All right,
cool.
All right, Mike, you're up.
Number 3.
All right, number 3. This is a game that came out this year. This is La Famiglia, the Great Mafia War.
You've talked about this, yeah.
Oh man, I freaking love this game. This game is so brutal, and you looking at the cover of the game, you're thinking, "Oh, this is a cute game." No, man, this is literally from the Great Mafia Wars going on in Sicily, I think it was, and it's brutal. Like, I know it not graphic brutal, but you're like driving car bombs into cities next, and trying to blow other people up, and you're coming in with double shotguns and you're blowing people out of the way. And so anyway, you're there's like 4 corners of the board, so it's a 4-player only game. It's typically you and the person across from you are on a quasi on a team. The way that you win is if you alone control, I think it's 5 territories at the end of the round, you win. If you and your partner control 6 territories at the end of the round, you both win. And that's basically how you win the game. But there's this whole bidding to get upgrades and to place like your drug factories and to get recruits and then work them into your mafia clan, and it's all asymmetrical. So there's asymmetrical powers with each family that there is, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it just works, and it looks great on the table. The colors kind of pop out at you, and it looks very lighthearted. But again, it's a brutal game, and it does take probably 1 or 2 plays to really understand what you need to do to prep for the next round that's going to be coming around, because the prices for your upgrades become more expensive. And the way that you place your tokens in the top left corner there, you can see the gray ones, but you have like your own colored ones. What column you're placing them in for the next round really makes a difference. And then there's like the whole war part where it's initiative numbers. So you're putting like your contracts out on the board on where you're going to pull these contracts, and then everybody flips them over at the same time. And then, whoever has initiative goes first. So you could be prepping for like this great move, and 2 people have initiatives before yours, and they wipe all your guys out, and then you can no longer do your move. So anyway, my number 3 is La Famiglia, the Great Mafia War. Highly recommend it.
There's a whole lot of cubes in this.
A lot of cubes. Rob would love this game.
I love some cubes.
I want to play this game. Yeah. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
All right, my number 3 can be quick. It's already been mentioned before, so crossover. There we go. Wah, 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 another crossover. This with Wayne again. This one's Comic Hunters for me. Comic Hunters, wonderful game. It's auction. 4 different styles of auctions, I believe, in the game. So you're running just 4. these different variations of these 4 different styles of auctions. And I like auction. I mentioned before there you go. There's the air horn. The auction bidding. Yeah. But it's the theme doesn't do a whole lot for me. I know that kind of throws me out of the geek crowd, out of the nerd crowd. I was never a comic book guy. I never really collected and did the whole comic book thing. So I mean, that's gonna do it for a lot of people. That'll bring in a big crowd. Like Wayne said, I don't know that this in this form that it'll ever be redistributed or produced here in the U.S. just because of the rights for the comic books and everything. I'm sure that just gets to be crazy expensive if you can even get the rights to do that. But just taking the simple mechanic of there's games that do each of these auction mechanics, and the whole game is just one of these auction mechanics. This takes all of those 4 most popular types of auctions, puts them in one game, and condenses it to about 30, maybe 45 minutes at the most. And you can reset it. You can play it several times. You've got set collection. You're trying to collect different things. You got hand management. You're having to pay comics that you've got in your hand to buy new comics and to put them out into your collection, to put them into groups. It's just it's fantastic. Wayne went over it pretty thoroughly, but a game that definitely, Mike, you need to play this one. It's been a hit with everybody I've introduced it to. I haven't heard anybody not like it.
And the fact that Rob loves the game and is not a comic book guy, and then if you throw all of the cards are iconic comic book covers.
Oh yeah, like that picture you have up. I've owned 2 of those comics in the past.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I think also I really wish this game would get mass market release, but I also love the fact that kind of stupid to say, I love the fact I own a copy of this game and it's very hard to get, and it's I have it, and but here's the thing, I love sharing it. I brought it to Dice Tower East, and we taught all the Dice Tower crew. People were borrowing it. I love that aspect of here's this game that most people can't get, and we can. I have a copy because I got lucky. I have a neighbor from Brazil. I can share it with people. It's such a good game. Love it. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so we're on number 2 now.
Number two.
All right. So my number 2. Obsession. And so I have to my sister-in-law is a huge fan of Pride and Prejudice, right? Just loves that Victorian stuff. And she's brought over a couple of different games about Victorian, there's a Welcome Mr. Darcy board game, and they're all horrible. And I just want to take it. I want to take a drill and just drill into my head, right? But I like the theme. I love this kind of theme. I love Downton Abbey, right? I love this show Downton Abbey and Upstairs Downstairs and that kind of stuff. And when this came to Kickstarter, I was like, I don't know. There's been so few board games that do this theme right. It's not for me. And then it came out, and I finally played it, and I go, oh, this game's kind of cool. All right. And then it came out on BGA. I got to find some better pictures here. And this game is awesome. This game's phenomenal. It's worker placement. It's it hits. And I think I also forever, after the Kickstarter, I missed the Kickstarter, and then you can buy the game, and to buy the game and all the expansions is $150. And so for over a year now, I've been hemming and hawing. I'm I like this game, but I just can't do it. That's a lot of money. I don't know. It's whatever. And then the Kickstarter just came out where they're going to do metal coins and some other stuff. And I'm all right, it's my birthday. Fine. Screw it. F it. I'm just going to buy it. So I bought it all.
Nice.
The game and all the expansions and everything. I got $100 from my mom for my birthday. So there we go. Done. The game just hits. I love it. The theme is fantastic. And I think I fell in love even more when I got involved in the most recent Kickstarter, because the guy who runs this company, Dan Halligan, he's phenomenal, dude. The way he's run his Kickstarter, his transparency, his passion, just everything about this game just sings. From the gameplay itself is phenomenal to the way he runs his company and the way he develops things. So Obsession just was a game that I was kind of hesitant to. I wanted to like it, but I didn't. But then the more I played it, I was just I really like this game. I love this game. To the point where I've just spent $150 or $200 probably for the game, the Kickstarter. I want the coins. I want everything. So
that's so wonderful.
Yeah, it really is a fun really good game. Really good game. Really solid. And I bought it. I showed my wife, and she said, "Oh my God, my sister's gonna love this game." I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna play this at Thanksgiving this year, and your sister is gonna get all into it. She's gonna be reading the cards and reading the names and acting it out, and she's gonna get into the theme." So I cannot wait to play this game at Thanksgiving with my sister-in-law, because she's gonna flip her mind about this game. So yeah, Obsession, cool. Fantastic. That's my number 2.
I played it more than a year ago, or it would have certainly made my list. So, but yeah, it wasn't new to me this year.
Awesome. All right, my number 2. Technically released last year, but it was released in the US this year. and it is Federation by Eagle Gryphon Game. Well, publishers Eagle Gryphon for the U.S.
Wow.
Man, the more I play this game, it just grows on you, man. This game is so good. The two phases with it. I mean, the first phase is really the majority of the game, where you are placing your votes out on a board. It's hard to explain. There's 5 planets. There's all different kinds of spaces on the board, set up like think like Star Wars with the
Senate there.
The Senate. Thank you very much. Yep. So you're placing either your tiles out on votes on the vote side, or you're funding different projects within that column. And then after all that's done, while you're doing that, you're also moving up tracks on these 5 different planets. And you're trying to obviously get the most points by the end of the game. But during these votes, at the end of the round, you are getting points based on the rows. Whoever has the most votes per row, then you're funding the projects in that column. And then per side of the Senate, you're also passing laws, quote unquote, passing laws, which will give you're voting on 2 different planets. Whichever planet wins, wherever you are on the track, it's going to be like that number times 2. So you're gaining points every single round while you're doing this. And there's a few end of game points, but just the whole, you really need to be able to, switch your strategy on a dime, because you may have a majority of the people that are playing the game that really want this one project to fund, or really want this law to pass, and you're trying to work up different tracks and they're working up the same track. So you really have to be able to pivot or talk them into trying to see it your way, so that you can sway them. It's just a fun game. Like, there's so much decision making with every single chip that you place down, and on what side that you're placing it down, as far as like your voting chips. Just an excellent game. Highly recommend it. Looks good on the table. I know it looks very colorful for a sci-fi game, but it's just to differentiate the different planets that are there. And the board is double-sided, so it like changes the way things are laid out per side. And they also give you like tokens to cover up certain spaces, so that it'll randomize the board even more if you wanted it to.
Yeah.
I think you guys would like this type of game.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's my number.
Sam said, it shocked me how amazing it was. I thought that was about Federation, but clearly her next.
Oh, that's about Obsession.
This is about Obsession. Yeah. So next one is, I've been wanting to play this. Yeah. So I played this at Dice Tower East and definitely played it wrong. I enjoyed it. No. Yeah. And we've talked about this, Mike. Is like I like the game, but there was something missing, right? And then how you've described it, I'm like, okay, there's something missing there. And the colorfulness, the playfulness, the Senate kind of thing where you're bidding on votes side. Mm-hmm. Yes, fun game. I think if I played it fully right, I think we missed 1 or 2 rules that kind of detracted from it at Dice Stories. This would have made my top 5 probably, because it's a great game. It really is. Like I definitely want to play it again correctly with some folks and get a good full play on it. Yep.
It took me a few plays to get all the rules right. Like, this is one where I would say there are some fiddly rules in the game, some minor ones where if you don't pay attention in the rule book, you really do glance over them, and it can make a huge difference on points towards the end of the game.
And I think that's what happened in the game we played at the hot game table. Yep. So,
all right, cool.
I want to try it.
Yeah.
All right, Rob,
okay, my number 2. I'm gonna jump straight to it. The Manhattan Project Energy Empire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This again, not a new game. It's new to me this last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Wayne and I and Carlos played it over at Carlos's house. Gosh, I don't know how many months ago, but this is a game I'd heard about it. I bought it from Muhammad in our game group. About a year ago, and it's been sitting on my shelf of shame. actually more than a year ago, probably closer to 2 years ago, and had been sitting. And every time I'd see him, have you played it yet? Have you played it yet? It's such a good game. Have you played it? And I was like, no. It's on my list. It's high up there. I got to play it. Pretty simple worker placement. I mean, this is there's not a whole lot of spots to go on the board, but there is a good amount of interaction in this game because there's not a lot of spots. There's a lot of blocking each other, taking things. Sometimes you may not necessarily do the absolute best thing for you because if you go there, you can kind of stop somebody from grabbing what they need. It probably had a little bit to do with the experience of our play. Carlos and I and Wayne, that night we played it, we were just cutting up. We were messing with each other. Just some of the things that happen in the game. There's some variable cards that come out that can just change the way your interaction happens and change the way that you use some of the worker placement spots. It's just it really I knew Muhammad loved it, and I knew it was a game that people talk about, but I didn't really have it way up there on my list as a game that I was just dying to play. And then after I played it that time, this is a game I've been trying to get my kids to want to sit down and learn it because I'm like, I got to teach somebody else this game, and I've only played it the one time, but this is at the top of my list for games that I got to get back to the table and get it played soon. This was so much fun. And this was a second version. There was Manhattan Project. I think it might have just been Manhattan Project was the first one. And then Energy Empire was the second one. And our intention when we played is we wanted to play Manhattan Project. Carlos asked, anybody own Manhattan Project? I was like, I do. Then he was when I brought it over, he's like, "Oh, this is the Energy Empire." I wanted to play the original, but Energy Empire.
We wanted to play this and then go see Manhattan Project.
There you go. Yeah. And so the idea, I guess, they streamlined some of the stuff, they tweaked some things in this version, and so from what I hear, this is the quote unquote better version. It's a different theme. You're not building bombs. You're doing energy. You're trying to make efficient energy production. But this was way more fun than I was expecting. This blew me away and was really a really pleasant surprise for this last year. It's my number 2.
Yep.
Awesome.
So yeah, Grob, a great choice for number 2 because it's my number 1.
Oh, so this is when you said there was one that you were pretty sure might be a crossover. It hit me like, oh, he must have put this on there.
Yeah. So I had this in Comic Hunters as our crossover. This game,
nice.
I am so mad. Like I've talked about this on the podcast before. I was gonna buy this game for years. It was on my Amazon wish list, and I never pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
And that game, the three of us playing that game that night before, this might be my best game of the year. Like as far as like experience, the three of us just playing that game, we were cackling. It was just, I was smiling. It was just the fun in this game. And so I don't think it necessarily was just the three of us. We know each other well. We've been gaming for a couple of years now. We're having fun. This game elicited that interaction.
I think so.
And it just hit. It was like I'm so mad I don't own this game right now.
There's a couple of event cards that came up that, like I said, they just kind of changed the way you interact with the game and interact with each other, and it was like, that's cool. So
this was my as soon as we started, when you all said that like top 5 hits of the year, this was boom, number 1 gonna happen. This was my number 1 from the start. Like it was there. I have it. I think it's like Game Nerds or one of the game companies, Noble Knight, sells used copies. There's a used copy on Noble Knight. It's oh my god, I should just do it.
It's expensive.
Like it's $70, $80, whatever. I'm like, just do it. Damn it, I got to do it. Yeah. So this was a hit. Loved it. I will be forever on the lookout for a copy of this game because I will own this in my collection at some point. Yeah.
Have you ever played it, Mike?
No, I haven't. Now it's another one that's on my list that I feel I need to play.
You gotta
really
get
good. The three like Rob, Carlos, and I are all similar gamers, but we all have different interests, right? Like as far as like we're a little divergent. All three of us were just like, this game rocks.
Yeah, it was really good.
Like it was a hit. So yeah, it was
awesome.
Yeah.
My number 2, your number 1, so it's up there. Yeah, cool.
All right.
Number 1, Mike.
So I've gone back and forth on my number 1. I actually have 2 here, but I'll just briefly mention the one. But the one that actually is my number 1. I'm choosing it because I actually have a copy of it. My fake number 1 is Nokosu Dice. I'm hopefully getting a legitimate copy soon.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, somebody in one of the groups that I just became a part of, he's actually going to Japan, and he has started a group like collection of money to buy multiple copies and bring back with him. So it'll be an easier price to swallow, more like a $30 game instead of paying like $100 game for a trick-taking game. But anyway, so my actual number one was released this year from Panda Source Games. It is Aurum, which is another trick-taking game. This one I had a friend that I met when I moved here to Seattle, a guy that I met here, Scott. He is like all these new trick-taking games that I've been talking about that actually really, most of them really aren't that new. He's the reason that I've become like this trick-taking fanatic where I just love trick-taking games now. He was talking about this one, and this one you can pick up in any store for like $15. And he was explaining to me, I was like, oh yeah, it sounds like a cool concept. It's a 4-player only game, and you're playing teams with the person across from you. And there's this whole bidding portion before on like how many tricks you think you're going to win. And depending on if you're playing the highest, I'm going through it very quickly, but it's a must not follow game. So there's 5 suits. If somebody plays a red card, you can play any card except for a red one. Like a typical trick taker, highest number wins the trick. But if you play the lowest card, you also get one of the gold cards in the middle that will possibly give you points at the end of the game, but it's also a trump card that you can use during your play. And it's also a card that you can use to change your bidding, because depending on if you hit your bid or not, on how many tricks you'll win for that game. If you hit the number exactly, you get twice the points. If you go over it, you only get the number of tricks that you've won. But if you get under, you win 0 points. But you can still win if you have enough of these gold cards. It's just I wouldn't say it's the easiest trick-taking game to teach somebody, but if you understand trick-taking games, you'll kind of pick up on this one relatively quick. And just the fact that there aren't a ton of must-not-follow trick-takers out there that I know of or that I've played.
Sure.
And the fact that this one is just so easily accessible for $15, this one, I think I played this more than any other game this year so far. And not just because of the length of the game, it's because I've wanted to play this and show it to other people that enjoy trick-taking games, just to like see the kind of like you, Wayne, where you're like, I've got this game that either people can't get or they aren't aware of, and just seeing the discovery, the look of discovery on their face when as they're playing the game. Oh my gosh, this game is so good.
I love this game.
I've talked about it in another podcast or another stream where I said it's $15. If you even think you might like a trick-taking game, this is one worth getting because it's only $15. If you don't like it, sell it to the next person for $10 or whatever. You're only out $5. It's just a great trick-taking game. Highly recommended. My number one for 2023 new games to me.
Aurum, Aurum. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a game I just haven't hardly heard anything about other than you loving this game. So,
so Mike has mentioned, you've mentioned Aurum a couple times in the last few podcasts or shows, like maybe. But so I will go back like 5 months ago where you started talking about Nikosu Dice. Nobody heard of that game. And now all of a sudden, every podcast in the world is talking about Nikosu Dice. So just give it another 2 months and everyone will be talking about Aurum, I'm sure.
The one, just really quick, the one that I'm starting to hear people talk about that I've mentioned it a few times, but I haven't been like hot and heavy on it, but I probably will be again shortly. Robo Trick, where it's a 3-player trick-taking game and you're playing against a robot that has their own hand and they have rules for how they play cards. This one I think came out in 2015, 2016 in Japan. If this ever makes it to the States, it's going to be a killer trick. I mean, it'll sell so well for people that love trick-taking games. But Robo Trick is the next one that I think people are going to start talking about.
So next year, before I go to Japan next year, I got to contact you. You got to give me a list of games I need to find.
Yeah, Japanese games you need to pick up.
Give me a list and money. Bring some back for me.
Yeah. All right, my number one, I'm going to exclude Frosthaven, which I'm going to say because that's the game I played the most this last year, and that's it's Gloomhaven 2.0. So I mean, I'm not going to qualify that one. So that one's kind of out the window. But this one, and I'm going to say the family element of for myself that I played this with my two oldest kids this year. This is the second most played game I've played this year, and it's Destinies. Loved this game. I mean, I thought I was going to like it when I heard about it. I thought we would enjoy it. I knew it was a game that my kids would play. There's kind of a story element. It's an adventure exploration game. But yeah, this is really it really blew my socks off. The kids kept wanting to play it, which is rare. My kids play board games, but I feel like a lot of times I'm twisting their arm. They're both teenagers, one in high school, one in college now, and they enjoy board games, but there's very specific games they like to play. This is one of the few games that we really all have just enjoyed, the three of us, and we sat down, we played this over. We played 8 times, according to my log this year. And it's kind of a story system. The base game, I think, is a 4. There's an intro one just to kind of teach you the game, and then there's a 4-story scenario where they kind of string together a storyline. And so we played through that. It's got these minis. These minis a lot of them are very mini. They're actually kind of really small, but they're very detailed little minis. They're just little plastic. They're not super high quality, but they are detailed, surprisingly detailed for what they are. But now they're calling this the Destiny system. There's been expansions to this. There's going to be other games coming out that use this Destiny's kind of exploration system where it's kind of another one, kind of like Seventh Continent. You're moving into unknown territories. You're flipping additional tiles. The tiles are kind of two-sided. So on one side, the back side of the tiles, it shows kind of like a grayed out idea of what's on the other side of that tile. But when you step into it, you flip it over and it becomes full color. There's more detail. There might be, an old lady standing on the corner or something that you didn't see on the one side. So it is a game that is kind of a one-shot experience once you go through it. You could replay it, but when you go through it, you kind of know the story, so you kind of know, all right, I need to go over and do that thing first. It's completely competitive. You're competing against each other, but you have these objectives that you're trying to do. But you can get the same objective if you visit the same merchant and you respond to them the same way and kind of have the same dialogue with them. They may send you on the same quest, and so at that point, there's points of the game where two of you may go do the thing, and you're both sent in the same direction. It becomes kind of a race at that point to go and complete the tasks and come back. But there's definitely, you don't have to do that. There's enough variety in the game. You can go, each of you, the three of us could go in different directions. We could have different experiences, talk to different people. Each of your starter characters for each one of the games, you have a starter character that's assigned to you, and they have kind of a light side and a dark side. There's a kind of a light path role that you can follow, or there's a dark path role that you can follow. I didn't mention that the game is app based. You do have to have a device because the story part of it is app based, and you're clicking on things. It's kind of cool though that it's not secret. One thing I didn't kind of like about My Father's Work, I played that one last year, so it wasn't eligible for me this year. Great game. I loved My Father's Work, but there were points in it where you secretly had to take the app and read things so that other people wouldn't know, because if they went and did the thing later, then that they would have to have that experience later. This one, when you go do things, it's all open, but they tell you things that are kind of quizzical, that depending on the story that's on your little starter card and your character's background, and then whether you're choosing the light or the dark side, it's going to say things out loud that everybody can hear, and it kind of gives everybody tips as to what it might be hinting at, but only the person who had that interaction knows exactly what it's saying, exactly where it's sending them or what to do. And so it's just really cool. There's just really a lot of little pieces that fit together well in this. Yeah, you've got these item cards that you're collecting. You're having some of the parts of the game, you're having to go to certain people and you have to make decisions. Do I kill the cow and use it for food and feed the poor people, or do I take the cow back to the farmer and collect the reward that he was giving me? And then when I get that reward money, maybe now I go and buy an item, the candlestick to take to the monastery to light it, to bring about an apparition or something. And so there's this I'm not going to call it a deep story, but it's a fun story. It's a light story. This game is pretty, I want to say it's family weight, although there are some dark sides to it. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily family friendly. But it is a game you could play with mature younger kids maybe. But yeah, it just really impressed me. I knew, like I say, from hearing about it that I was going to like it. But the fact that my kids really bought into it, we played it over and over. They kept asking to play it. We played through the whole 4-game scenario in just a couple of weeks, which is really rare for us. Just a real big hit for me this last year. But that's my number one, Destinies.
Very surprised that you like this game that much. And
yeah.
I used to have it. I backed it on Kickstarter. I did the introductory mission, and I never got it back to the table. And I wish I did, because I love narrative type games. And this is one I'm probably going to have to pick back up just to play it again.
Yeah. And really, that's what's interesting.
Really go through the story.
Rob, the Eurogamer.
Yeah. You tell me story and exploration and adventure and
Destinies, Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, Sleeping Gods. I don't know, Rob. I think we need to revisit your.
Need to rebrand.
Yeah. I think you're into more narrative games than you think you are. Yeah.
I think I'm learning to like them. Yeah. It's a change. Awesome. I'm willing to go through. Yeah.
You guys have definitely added some games to my list that I need to play.
To mine as well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure, all the way around. So
hopefully,
sorry, I was just saying, hopefully people can comment. Hopefully this was an exciting topic tonight, and so hopefully in the chat, we've had plenty of people in the chat, but in the comments on Facebook or on YouTube mostly, hopefully people chime in and tell us your top couple games and your misses this year. I think that would be a lot of fun to hear what other people have to say.
Good. Definitely.
I think the point being too is misses aren't always bad games. Most of like 3 of my 5 were good games. I enjoy playing them, but it just didn't quite hit. And why is good to look at. I think it speaks to the Kickstarter bloat and things like that. So for we may not be on that long, maybe not make an hour tonight. 2.5 hours later.
Yeah, we went long tonight. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
we had fun.
It was good talk, man. I like this.
No, it's good. I enjoyed it. The hits and misses. I'm glad my quiz wasn't insanely hard, but that you guys were.
That was a lot of fun. Appreciate you putting that together. That was well done.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'll do it again. Hey, Mike, can you hit the cat? Your cat noise, because we have to have,
we have some kind of outro. Yeah, we don't have the outro tonight.
I have the outro.
Oh, you do have the outro? Oh, okay. Yeah.
You have the outro. Yeah. Shut the cat up.
Anyway.
No, this was fun, guys. Appreciate it. I'm glad that we were able to fill in for Carlos tonight. So hopefully he'll be back soon. But we may have to do this again next week if Carlos is still busy with the newborn at home. So
we'll see.
We can always think of other topics and certainly join the Discord. I'll post the quiz to the Discord. Let us know how you did. Let us know your thoughts on best games of the year that hit, but games that didn't quite hit, and speak other topics that we could talk about. We appreciate that. So. Mike, Rob, you guys got anything else?
That's it. I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. And next week we'll kind of play it by ear. So we may be back into a similar non-call-in show mode. But again, we got tons of topics we can come up with. So if people enjoy listening, please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about us. We're always looking to grow the fan base. Join the Discord if you haven't gotten on the Discord. Lots of fun stuff in there. We got lots of topics people talk about, not all board gaming, but just all kinds of different things. And then hopefully Wayne and Mitchell will have a chance to get back to the podcast. So definitely, if you had some time to catch up, if you are interested in that, listen to them. It's always a fun listen. But lots of beans and dice to go around.
Yeah, absolutely.
The goal is to get back to the podcast. I know Mitchell's been crazy busy with theater stuff. I've been crazy busy with work, but we're going to get back to it sooner than later. So I think part of it is like October. Neither of us played any games really in the month, like 5 games max. So we just how can we talk about it? Like games? We just have to make it up, I guess. But we'll get back to it. Yeah, appreciate it. So
it was fun, guys. Thanks everybody for joining us. We are the Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about
How we game.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye, everybody.